What is up, everybody? So, you know, I was thinking about this. They really should make the main story 0 AP all the time. Because I think that would make everyone happier, like, a lot. Because one, if you get stuck on something, you're not like, oh shit, I'm wasting AP, right? So you don't have to worry about that. And then I think what a lot of people would do is they would use their AP to do an event, to do daily farming, whatever they're supposed to be doing, right? And then like, okay, I'm out of AP. I'm gonna play the story now. Because it doesn't take any AP. And my AP regenerates while I do that. And so I can just do whatever. Like, I think that would make everyone so much happier. Stheno solo, and that'll happen at some point. Oh yes, Cerberus, there is a rider fight with him, isn't there? I need to get Stheno's third passive, man. That would make a pretty big difference. Also her second passive, honestly just all of them. Can I just get like 1 billion Stheno coins so I can just get all, I need what, 360 coins? Because like that would really be good, because she's got her self-battery, right? And then she can have the starting 20% for her second passive. And then she make her extra attack do more damage, and then she'll do more damage to riders, which she counterclasses, so her extra attack is basically going to be her NP, which is actually pretty legit, right? So, you know, one day Stheno will be a DPS unit. Yeah, this song is kind of loud. Alright, well let's use up our AP a bit here on farming, because we like never do that on this Stheno account, and then we'll go to Lostbelt 5. So what do y'all think we're gonna get for New Year's? I think we're gonna get, you know, a random new unit, which is very hard to predict, but it could be anything from, you know, Kotamine to Guadia to Bob's cousin. Or, you know, the more likely thing, just some waifu we've never heard of ever, but, you know. Anyway, but also, we could get some updates. You know, I was looking at the previous New Year's. They've been kind of random what they've decided to do for them, so you could get something big. You never know. Alright, so we need hero proofs, we need caster gems. Okay, if it's caster daily, we do that. Alright, well, that's that. Time to use our AP on caster dailies, because we need... So, is this even the Stheno account? I can't believe the Stheno account would have 30 gold caster gems, but sure, we'll just go with that. What shall we summon? Always Canis there. Not the right CE, but decent. Fine. Oh yeah, we got our man, that was awesome. We need to level that. I cannot believe we got NP2 Achilles from Rolling Story, dude. That's so good. Actually, let's look real quick what we can do there, because he actually is legit a good level option, because he will help us farm, and he'll help us with hard content too. So that's like a lot of boom for our buck there. I'm not sure if we've got all the stuff he's gonna need, but we will find out. They actually have lore on those things. Alright. Give me the goods. I could pick Achilles as my free 5-star now and have him at NP3, and that is mighty tempting. But we could like pick Enkidu, because Enkidu is also green, and he's also awesome, and he's really good for Fluffy, and Fluffy is an issue. There's always Aussie, fun one. Although we don't need any more riders when I think about it. I don't know what to pick. I'll have to look at what's available again. Vlad. I don't think so. If it was Lancer Vlad, I would happily do that actually. But fuck Berserker Vlad. Never even mind his gameplay. I just don't like Berserker Vlad. Wannabe loser. Someone divine is the sensible thing to do. Oh God. Can we get Hagfest? Can Hagfest come back? That had hero proofs in the lottery, and then like the best node to farm dropped hero proofs. It was like the best thing ever. We could use that. This is a problem. We have a lot of characters that need hero proofs right now. I'm telling you, man, a lot of the fundamental like good budget units, and then plenty of rare units you might happen to get, like Achilles, all take proofs. I mean, so many, like David and Ku and all that crap. God damn it, man. Alright, so, not Attila. Sorry, Dragon Lord, but that's not happening. That's a big no. Mordred's a good pick for like farming and everything, but we've already got Mordred so upgraded on my main account. I feel like we don't really need that. Not Artemis. Definitely not. Arjuna's not too bad. If we had gotten Tesla, I would actually say Tesla, but MP1 Tesla is not exactly ideal. Fuck Karna because he takes just no. Karna's awesome, but no. So much no. I know those mats. There's no world where we're picking Karna. Like, absolutely not. Probably not Lion King because we've already got her on the Herc account and at N25. Okay, and Kidu, option. Definitely an option. Not really a fan of Booty Lancer, but that is certainly something different, but not exactly my cup of tea there. Probably not Drake. She's okay, but we're totally fine on riders. Not Mev. Ozzy's cool, but again, we're totally fine on riders. Speaking of which, there's like a million riders here. So Achilles is an option. Waver is very practical. Waver is crazy practical to pick, but also incredibly boring, and I never like to use the meta stuff for big boss fights, so... but Waver is always really good. Tam is the only kind of meta support I would use, because she's on her own, she doesn't just carry and make everything easy. Honestly, Tam is tempting just because her gameplay is cool, but I don't like Tam very much, and also I don't think this account has a lot of art stuff. But honestly, gameplay-wise, she's quite tempting. Plot Monk is really good. It was really, really good, although we're already past some of the nasty assassin fights. Although we still got Epic of Remnant 3, and we've got Charlotte and all that, so there's still reasons to have a DPS caster, but I don't think we would go with that. Not Thick Caster, definitely not the need. Lee's, that's not bad. I don't know how we'd fit him in when we've already got like the Stheno to be the assassin slot, so I don't know if that would be a thing. Definitely not Coulter. Nightingale would be interesting. Not practical at all, but that would be interesting. Jonah Arc, there's a good support that doesn't like break the game and it can be fun to use, so that's potentially a pick. Nice to have for really hard fights, so that's a plus. I can't believe you're allowed to pick her. Okay, so I'm thinking Jonah Arc, Enkidu, Achilles, maybe even Tam. Those seem like the most likely picks, unless we happen to get Tesla. Alright, yeah, well, we narrowed it down a good bit there. These Black Aurelia, None of that again. I should have done that after starting the stage because I could have been getting some AP back, but I don't think it's gonna matter too much. Okay, is this account so desperate that it's gonna use the unmaxed out Achilles for farming? I cannot believe Ushi is in P2. I just, why? Why? It's so crazy. What are his stats right now? Wow, he keeps up, but no, we'll just use this for now. I'm getting Achilles Bond because, guys, they're totally gonna buff Achilles with an interlude, and you're gonna need, Bond 4 to get it. So, we gotta be ready for this. Alright, well, we have to bring this thing because we should have already bought it a while ago, so we need to get it to 10 as fast as possible. Yeah, we got plenty of Ricky boys. No problem there. If I had known it was going to be like this, I probably would have leveled Ricky instead of Uchi. Wait a minute. Doesn't Ricky take hero proof? I think he might. Alright, let's, murder. Yeah, we'll just use up some of our AP here, and then we'll go to Lostbelt 5, and... Lostbelt 5-1 will be a cakewalk, I think, other than maybe 1 or 2 stages. But 5-2, that'll be a thing. We're using our AP. The story doesn't take AP right now, so might as well use it up. Everyone takes hero proofs, man. It is crazy. Probably should have already cast this, but... Should have put Martha last, I think. I should have given Martha scope or something like that. Oh yeah, and we have a Roshan Spartacus. Can they kill them both? Probably not. Just crit? 30%? No problem! So remember when Mash failed that 70% crit the other day? That's where the other 30% went. Probably should have already cast the Dungeon thing, but this is not a particularly difficult stage. If we fail this, we are really shit at the game. I don't think we even needed Mash. Ushi's NP there. Canis has a very bizarre sense of fashion. I would just like to throw that out there. Not that Ushi here is any better, but Ushi probably has the worst fashion in all of FGO. Like, what happened? Hey, Sir K. It's been a while. Hey, 2 caster gems. I credit the sub for that. But thank you for the 7 months, man. I appreciate it. You're not bad for NP too. Oh, hold on. Let's bring out a Rosh or Spartacus or something here. Give myself FP, OP. I should summon my Achilles because he's crazy good here. Okay, Martha ain't gonna do anything. Who doesn't need Bond? I mean, right now, kind of everyone makes it difficult to use Spartacus. Then I could cut Ushi, just bring Spartacus. What a team. Oh, I can't remember. Did they give the teapots to everyone? Because if they did, this account has teapots, and I should use. Oh crap! We should do Agartha then. How long do those last? I want to say they last to February, and if that's true, then I don't no rush. But man, if we do Agartha and we have teapots, Stheno will get just outrageous bond there. Does anybody remember late February? Okay. Yeah, we got a minute then. I don't have to rush. But yeah, we gotta remember to do Agartha then, because that's way too good to pass up. You gotta finish Lostbelt 6, damn it. Do they not give them to you unless you do Lostbelt 6? I'd have to cheese Lostbelt 6 if I wanted to get that done. Like, I'd have to be super cheesy. Either that or level Ku like right now and pick and Kidu and then farm like a motherfucker for like a couple of days. Kind of weird that there's Shadow Waver there because Shadow Waver can be on the final wave too. Yeah, some units are really easy to get to Bond 5, and some are actually incredibly slow. Some take, like, crazy amount. So you have to do stage after stage after stage. Sucks. Oh wait, no, we got... yeah, we have Waver as the boss, and then Shadow Waver on the second wave. And I didn't get Canis's NP. Feels bad. I'll just hit it very hard. Or just don't crit there. I think the easiest in the game though is Europa, and it's like lore. That's why they did that. She takes 10,000 from bond 0 to 5. Like, it's not 4 to 5, it's 0 to 5 takes 10,000. You could, I'm not even kidding, you could get Europa from bond 0 to bond 5 in one stage during the event we just did. Right? Like, I was getting over 11k bond per raid when I used a teapot and I had like the CEs and stuff. So if I slapped Europa in the back row, she could go from bond 0 to bond 5 in one stage. The UI for that would look really funny, because I've seen it when someone skips a bond level, like you get more than one and it goes like boom boom, like on the UI. That'd be pretty funny if you had 5. I like these caster gems though. So what I need to remember to do is before I go to bed tonight is use my AP again on the Stheno account and grab blue gems, because we're gonna need those too. So I want to see if they added Tiamat to the mobile version, which I mean now I'm just on copium, but if they added Tiamat to the mobile version, out of all the people that can have voice lines for her, the one that I want the most is Europa. Because Europa, if you look at her voice lines, she just finds a way to make everyone her grandchildren, even if it doesn't make sense. But with Tiamat being like the mother of all life on the planet, I really want to know what Europa would do. Would she try to make Tiamat her kid too, or would she be like, okay, that's my grandmother? Like, I really want to know. But sadly, the odds of them adding Tiamat to the mobile version is pretty suspect to begin with. And then I don't think Europa would get a voice line, because I don't think he would think of any of that. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna do 64k, so we'll do that. Oh, I'm sure Tiamat would see it as a pretty simple matter, right? I don't think she would even consider the idea of, although I don't know what she would think of the Olympians, because they're not from Earth anyway, so they're not really connected to Tiamat's whole, you know, starting life on Earth thing. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck that would go from Tiamat's perspective. Someone might die. Well, we can Achilles NP, but don't think that would do so good considering he's level 50. Doing it anyway though. And can we get, like, for New Year's, can we just get all 12 Olympian gods? Like, you get like 3 banners, they're all spread out between 3 and 5 star. There's a few of them on each banner. That'd be great. Not gonna happen though. So watch Waver triple defense buff. That would just be the worst. Okay, he can only cast it twice actually. Only 2 actions per turn. But yeah, if he casts it twice, that'd be ridiculous. Like 40% defense up and then double damage cut. I don't know who the New Year's servant's gonna be. A lot of people think Rasputin / Kodamine, which that's totally possible. That wouldn't surprise me in the least. But it could be something surprising and big, like you know, Guadia, Solomon, what's his name? Archimedes, right? That's one. I don't think they would add him that randomly though. I think if they add Archimedes, it's gonna be because like he's a major villain in an event or something, like how BB was in DCC. I don't think they're just gonna add him. Yeah, Kodamine is a sensible one. Solomon, stuff like that. With all the crazy, you know, and high demand stuff, Arcade just got. Oh man, if they add Kazura Drop, whatever stupid name is, that'd be so disappointing. That's a pretty niche character, honestly. Like, the people that like her, I think are really vocal, but I don't think she's really that popular. Like, compared to what all this stuff Arcade got, that would be really lame. Rainbow Waifu 379. Yeah, I could see that too. Fluffy would be awesome, but I don't know if you'd make that playable, but I would not complain. Oh yeah, Valkyrie. Yeah, I'm with you, Alan. Valkyrie, it's not great. If you're not using like double scatty specifically, it's not so good. And in NP1, Thankfully, I've got her at a decent NP rank on my main account, but yeah, it sucks. Life's not fair. Thankfully, because like, I remember when everyone was like quick is OP, and now everyone's saying quick is the worst again, which is absurd. But because of that, maybe Valkyrie's got a chance getting buffed. She doesn't feel too bad at MP5, she just doesn't feel great, right? Like anything else in MP5 would be better, but yeah, I remember we were in that period of everyone acting like Quick was just the best thing ever, and now because of Castoria, everyone's like Quick is the worst thing ever. So, yeah, maybe we get a buff there. Let's see the NP gain. Yeah, I think Zerker Lodge better. Wow, no crits. Okay, we got one. Yeah, I think Zerker Lodge better than the champion buff now. Like, honestly, a lot of those units that were really scatty reliant have a chance getting buffed now, I feel. Okay, time for Lostbelt 5. That's enough of that. So we need to bring Anniversary Blonde to as many stages as possible. We got Achilles after beating Lostbelt 4 because we rolled for Asclepius, and while rolling for Asclepius, we got Achilles twice because I'm lucky, I guess. I guess all I can say, really. But hey, we got Asclepius, we got Bedivere, we got one copy of Ushi. And we had to work for those rolls, man. We had to not roll for so long, and then getting through Lostbelt 4 without summoning a support to completely carry us. That was tough, so... Felt good to finally use all that SQ, though. I'm quite happy, though. Achilles is great. We're going to level him quite soon, actually. Bit of an issue, though, because we're kind of pushed on Rider mats and, you know, hero proofs. I don't know what to do about that, but we got 4. We got 4 of the Snake Doctor. You really only need 2 because then that's like enough health, and you get the being able to go over 100% to deal with drains, MP drains and stuff. But I'm happy to get higher. You know, sometimes the extra health can save units. So I want to get MP5 eventually. Yeah, Achilles is divine, which is nice. Achilles and Beowulf are like the 2 things I think we need to level. Beowulf might actually be a higher priority just because we don't have a unit, like a single target berserker, and we don't have like a good, we don't have good options for killing assassins right now and things like that. So Beowulf is a nice band-aid fix for a lot of our problems. And oh, shut up, Al. Anyway, or Eli, excuse me. But no, every time, man, every time. Fucking Lostbelt 5. Stupid game. But yeah, we need Beowulf. Like we need that, and we got Beowulf yesterday, so he's in P2. So that seems like a pretty good thing. Toxic streamer. Hey, I toxic Lostbelt. Thank you. It sucks, man. Everyone makes fun of Sanson all the time. He's like one of my favorite characters. Stupid. Nice animation update, though. 6 years in, you know? Like, would it have killed them? Like, Merlin and Ishtar get animation updates, man. Like, that's just insulting. Honestly, if Sanson could get into outer space and MP her, it probably would kill her. There's really nothing in her toolkit that would allow her to defend herself against Sanson's MP. But Sanson in space is a Saber Wars event, clearly. This is the only reference to 4.5 in the entire story, and it doesn't matter in the slightest. And they don't even explain anything. Yeah, Sanson needs another buff. You know what? I'm summoning Ku. I have no idea what stage we're doing, but got that big shiny 110 Ku, and we'll get that Stheno divinity boost. Super art card. Okay, we still need Achilles, Bond. Because legit, if he does happen to get buffed in the near future, I do want to make sure we got that. Does he? I think we already got Bond on him, because he does need... Yeah. He needed Bond 4, and he's got it. And then George is Bond 9. I think he needs like 250k, so that's quite a while. Yeah, 280. Ugh. That's a long way. Considering I don't know what I'm fighting, this is where I bring a Berserker. I guess Spartacus. Good enough. You know, dragons. That could totally be a thing. Yep, give myself FP to summon more Kus. You figured it out. What will come first? Space Ishtar? Oh, Summer Space Ishtar or Summer Ereshkigal. I would say Ereshkigal, honestly. Like, it's a meme, but it's absolutely going to happen. Oh, hi, it's prototype mass-produced Cerberus. Well, time to click Ku cards. Pretty sure you just have to live a few turns or break his first health bar. If I had known it was this, we could have set this up where we had a chance of breaking his health bar. Because Ku's got anti-berserker and all that. I'd have to bring a different Mystic Code though, so not worth. Can't NP. Ku can, but that's not happening right now. Hey, AF White, thank you for the 4 months. How you doing? Yeah, this is clearly the only time we're ever gonna fight Cerberus. You know what? Might as well. Nothing like a rank 2 anniversary blonde. Come on, 90% crit. Stheno's got her little defense down. Wow. That's pretty good for having such minimal buff. What the hell? I guess we're breaking anyway, boys. I thought we were gonna have to, you know, work harder than that, but yeah, Ku's kind of good for this. Well, sorry, Cerberus. Look at that damage, dude. That's ridiculous. Look at this extra. Look at that extra attack. It's because it gets the attack up, the defense down, the anti-berserker, and the extra attack bonus from his first passive. So there's just like a million things buffing that extra attack right there. That was absurd. Berserkers have such a bad time against Ku now because of his passive. I know, if only we leveled Ku. We leveled Proto Ku with his anti-caster passive. Oh man, I'll get him. I wish it was anti-assassin. That would actually be useful on this account. I actually feel like anti-assassin is one of the better passives, at least for budget people, because a lot of budget people are not going to have a good assassin killer. So having someone at neutral that's at least, you know, solid is pretty nice. I am legit just giving myself a bunch of FP right now to summon more coups. I can't wait, man, to get him to 120 and get a second passive. I'm gonna get a second passive probably last though. I think it's the least important on him unless you're going to be doing like farming and stuff. You might say Ku's not good for farming, but that's actually not entirely true because now there's a lot of stages that are like single target oriented, and Ku hits so hard that sometimes he actually is useful. Like the Requiem, the final Requiem free quest, I 3-turned that with Billy and Ku really easily, and that was actually quite useful. The coin system is so annoying, dude, but I'll put up with it, you know, in the meantime, just to get my Ku as strong as possible. And at least Ku's free to play, so he's an FP. I'd lose my mind if he wasn't. I don't think you have to beat all 50 enemies, call me crazy, but all Seaside. I like that, and we are technically divine because of Poseidon. She's got like Blessing of the Sea God or whatever the hell, and that counts. She also gets art up because of it, but she never has any art cards, so better for Rider Canis though, because she does have 2, where regular Canis only has 1. New players aren't guaranteed to have what? Bang, bang, bang. This won't do that much damage, but... Actually, that was a little bit better than I thought. I'll take it. I guess Anniversary Blonde is a decent buster up even at low rank. It's actually the highest damage up on a Mysticode off memory. Might be less than some of the ones that do like Buster up and NP up if you do an NP specifically. But for any like pure type, it's the highest, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, Mechaliz is not that good of an option for killing assassins at all, like no way. Mechaliz is pretty ugh, and also like someone just said, most people aren't gonna have her. Although actually she's pretty easy to have now because you could have had her from back in the day and they just did the big Liz thing so you could get her from that. But new players in the future won't really have a good way of getting Mechaliz unless they make that a main interlude. But she's really not that good. The only good thing about Mechaliz is the fact that she's an alter ego and you might need one. That's it. Like her actual toolkit is not very good. If you made her a Lancer and you compared her to Proto-Ku, Proto-Ku's way better. Make her a Rider and compare her to Ushi, Ushi's way better. And that's true for like every single class in the game. So her actual, and she's even worse for dealing with assassins because she still takes normal damage from assassins. So the assassin will kill her super fast. Yeah, it's 60%. I thought it was something like that. Most of them are 50, and yeah, it's 60, so it's pretty meaty. It's a good Mysticode. Yeah, a lot of other games actually do let new players get old welfares. This game is kind of unique in not doing that. Oh yeah, we got Mashy 10-10-10. That's totally worth it. Quite glad we did that. I don't understand why the main interlude system is so bad. It's really insulting. And then you look at Art Knights and their main interlude system is so good. Like it's so smooth. You don't have to spend any resources to get it. Hi, Canis. A lot of times when an event finishes, it just immediately goes into main interlude and you can just play it whenever you want. And you can replay the farming stages for crying out loud. You can replay all the challenge quests. Like it's awesome. It is so awesome. Art Knights just gives you such a large plethora of like fun boss fights and like challenging content. You can fight anytime you want to. Like if they add new units and you're like, I want to play around with this and like meme on things, you can do that. You can just go do that. If you want to go like, hey, I want to challenge myself, and do like a budget setup against hard boss fights, you can do that. You know, FGO is just like, nope, fuck you, and if you're a new player, double fuck you. Alright, I'm pretty sure this stage you can't really do anything because of the sea blessing bullshit. No effect, very nice. I don't think Sherlock's thing even works here. We'll find out though. Unless she kills him. Or they don't let me. You have to CS. You have to CS to let him NP and then hit it with MASH or something. It's hard to say. Whatever happens with the Aniplex thing, we're just not gonna know for a while. It doesn't take effect until February, and like that kind of stuff is always kind of in turmoil for a little while. So it is gonna be. And then if they even made changes, it takes a while to actually implement them. So we have a long wait before we see how that goes. Yeah, they never changed story Canis. Yeah, I'm not optimistic in total, right? Because generally large companies like that always make things more money grubby and bad. But FGO does seem to suffer from like a lack of staff and stuff like that. So there are areas that it could potentially improve the game. So we'll see. You never know, because sometimes good things come about from stupid shit. It's so much XP from doing the main story now. I wish they gave you more mats though. That would really help new players out if the main story would drop more, like just a few gems, few skill gems here and there, some hero proofs, some bones, some of that kind of basic stuff as you play through. They give you a little bit, but they needs to give more. That would really help people progress naturally as they go through the story. Hey, I'm not the one trying to screw over new players, thank you. It's not my goal. I don't work for DW, thank you. Hashtag not sponsored. Oh boy, look at this, look at this. She has no foe items. Her craft essence has no stats on it. It's 0 attack, 0 attack, 0 HP. And yeah, no foe items. She's only level 45, 666. Like, that is 3,800 attack, man. Oh boy. Look at her being all optimistic with her garbage stats. Basically get NP, stab. Not sure we're gonna get her in. Well, we'll see. No, hit me. Hit me! Do it again. Damn it, he only has 2 actions per turn. Well, time to make stars. Thankfully, this thing's damage is atrocious, I think, so we're fine. I would have laughed if he crit me right there when I said his damage was crap, because that had messed us up. Art up? Art up? Nope, that's crit up. Well, at least I made stars. This crit spread really is not what I wanted to see. She's got this, right? 7k. Imagine doing, what the hell? She has Buster up, attack up, crit up, and then she crits for 7k. NP for 12. Oh man. Much power here. If I had known we were gonna do that little damage, I would have cast Guts, because if he double crit here, we would actually have died. Hell, if he had crit last turn and then just crit once there, we would have died. That is pathetic. She does have a nice hat, though. Cannot deny that. For a second there, I thought we weren't gonna kill it this turn. Yeah, she's a 1-star. She has no foe items. She's not max level, and her CE has no stats on it. And the CE also has no like offensive effect on it either. Okay, so we should technically go do a caster daily, so our AP is at least regenerating. I know it's kind of a killjoy, but we'll do that real quick. She's very cheery for someone so weak, indeed. That's like the story of Madohari. And Madohari and Charlotte kind of look similar, so, you know, their fans have something in common. At least Madohari gameplay-wise actually has use, though. Like, she really does. Like, she 40 to 60% damage for the team, right? With all of her defense downs. That's pretty legit for a budget unit. And then you've got the bonus with the charm and stuff. So that's alright, right? There's uses there. Charlotte, I can't think of any reason you would use Charlotte from a practical standpoint. Now, I should change this team, but I'm just gonna do this and hope for the best. The slander. You know it's true. No. All Charlotte fans deep down are aware of the gameplay problems. I just hope they actually buff her for crying out loud. She needs to get buffed like twice though, because 1-stars are at such a disadvantage for being a DPS. Like 2-stars and 3-stars are way better off, especially 3-stars. But yeah, she could use like an NP buff and then a really solid skill buff. Like let all 3 of her effects on her third skill go off at the same time. That would not be broken at all. Like I think she'd still be kind of eh, but that would help. Because then you get art up and NP up, and then the crit thing is just a bonus. But yeah, that'd be pretty good. Oh, Spartacus doesn't have crap. I don't have the CE on him that I normally use for farming. Whoops! Well, no NP for us. Man, I wish they would add 3-stars. They used to do that so much, and now we haven't had one in over 2 years. It really sucks. That's a huge downer for me. Like, 3-stars are my favorite rarity because they're the strongest of what's available to everybody, right? They're like the strongest of the free-to-play stuff. And they're really fun gameplay-wise because of that, where they're like good, but they're not even remotely broken, so you still have to work pretty hard. But yeah, I really enjoy that. And then a lot of times the 3-stars are a bit more down to earth in terms of their designs. They're less wacky. They're also normally more historically accurate and shit like that, and that's also my cup of tea. And yeah, they're free to play, so 3-stars are awesome, and we haven't had one since Ricky Boy. Because they hate fun, apparently. I really thought we were going to get one in Lostbelt 6. Maybe Lostbelt 7 in the year 2999. Does anyone else, I know caster gyms have a higher drop rate than the other gold gyms, but does anyone else feel like we've gotten really lucky? Like, we got a lot of gold caster gyms today. Not that I'm going to complain, we need like 80 of them or something. Taiga is the last 3-star female character, and that was like 4 years ago. They don't make a lot of female low stars. Like, if you look at the ratio, it's heavily biased to the guys. But then you look at the 5-stars, and it's the other way around, so... They you know, bias them there a little bit. Even the caster daily, though, it can be pretty crap sometimes, and you don't get a lot of them. But it is the highest drop rate out of all the classes. And I think they did that because they're aware that the supports are like the backbone, and you have a lot of them that you need to level. Or it's just a coincidence. I wouldn't put that past them either. it's only these three. I might as well fire everything. I don't think we're even gonna need the NT stuff. Got the anti-beast damage. You know, I think one of these two might be doing a little bit more damage than the other. He doesn't have stats on his craft essence either, and it doesn't have an offensive effect on it, but he is level 100. But he doesn't have foe items. So honestly, his power range right now is probably, what, like an 80, maybe an 85 Orion is like? Because the lack of proper craft essence, because it's not just the missing stats, it's the missing stats with the fact that it doesn't have an effect, right? Like, you know, buster up, crit up, that kind of stuff. So those two things, and then the no foe items, that's a pretty huge stat drain. If she was 100, she'd be doing as much as Orion. That is copium. I've used 100 Charlotte quite a bit, actually. Worse than a level 70 100 phase. Although a lot of the assassins are kind of in that spot. Yeah, I guess he will do a GSSR tomorrow. I don't really want to do it because I don't really want to give them money, and also there's just, like, my main account doesn't really need any 5 stars. But we might do it on one account just for the hype. And who knows, maybe they'll do something good. You must, yeah. Yeah, the stream always wants me to do it. Every time, dude, when was the last time? I remember a long time ago, my ult got Achilles and Iskandar in GSSR. That was good. That was really good. But pretty much every time since then, it's always like Tam, Ishtar, Trap Face, Summer Tam, right? It's just always stuff like that. I think the last one was Ishtar. It's like vanilla Ishtar, and I just instantly burned her. Easy burn, by the way. I'm thinking, what would I gun for if they had like everything in like different banners? Maybe Tesla again. If they did a class one, maybe Archer. It depends on like if it was limited, unlimited, like what's what. But if it was like everything divided by class, I'd probably do Archer because of Moriarty and Tesla. But then I might get Ishtar again, and I think that's why I got Ishtar last time. Yeah, I'd have to actually look at it again. They do really weird divides now. Like sometimes they do them by year, right? Like who knows what they're gonna do. Really, it's been a while since I saw a GSSR that I was like, oh yeah, I got like a 50% chance or greater of getting something I want. Because most of the stuff that I want, I saved up for and I eventually got myself, right? Because I don't need very many 5 stars, so the few 5 stars I want, I like save up for ages until I get them. So, like GSSR just doesn't do me much good anymore. Oh, maybe I might do one like that just has a lot of stuff that I kinda like and doesn't have a lot that I dislike. Like, we might do something like that. Like, I'd rather get something unique that I normally wouldn't roll on myself. Like MHX, right? I don't mind MHX if she has cool gameplay, but I would never, like, save up SQ and try to get her, right? I would never do that. Man, we're getting our asses kicked right now. But if I got her randomly out of GSSR, I'd be happy. What a fucking awful hand! Man, I might have to cast Guts because of this. Yep, I think I gotta do that. This hand is super crap. Yeah, now we can crit, but jeez. Yeah, I remember that one where like 3 out of 4 was okay, and then we got Summer Tam. Can probably kill them both here. Might need more stars than that. 80%? God damn it, that would have killed it too, I think. Between the crit bonus and the crit damage bonus that we got, I think that would have done it. Me and Cairo also got Summer Tam. Year of the Tam. And like regular Tam at least has really cool gameplay, where Lancer Tam not so much. I like how the werewolf's spear is going into the ground. It's like clipping through the floor. We put a lot of effort into that one. That's so easy to fix too, especially because they do pick up the day. Like that's really easy to fix. You can just change like the way it's holding it just slightly. And what you gotta do is like when you're making the sprite in like the whatever program they use, obviously they're not gonna see the floor, but you see where his feet are, and so you make sure the spear tip is above where like the line where his feet are, and then it'll look much better. That's pretty basic stuff. But they made those werewolves like day one, and you know, FGO was a joke day one, so that's why it's bad. Yeah, if I got MHX from like GSSR, I'd be happy with that because it's something unique. And honestly, my main account doesn't have a lot of like beefy assassins really. Because my main doesn't have Grailed 100 face, it just has regular 70, 100 face. Not that always works, that's pretty much always been good enough, but yeah, I wouldn't mind that. And I can get the UHC costume. I already have the UHC costume from the event back in the day, so that'd be nice. Trying to think of some other 5 stars that I like, but I wouldn't normally roll on. I mean, Aussie, I've already got Aussie, but getting NP2 Aussie would be really nice. Oh yeah, I guess music is probably looping. We'll let this one finish though. Yeah, Ivan's cool. Van Gogh would go right in the oven. I'm not sure if I'd level Hijikata because I've got a lot of berserkers, and I don't dislike him, but I don't really hype him at all. He's kind of just there. The man right there. Like he's not. I like angry characters, but he's just not quite my style. Like compared to Beowulf, he's kind of low tier. Can I just get a Beowulf animation update? Like I got him grailed. He's 10, 10, 10. You know, I'm ready, man. Give me the good stuff. Yep, I remember that we burned Odysseus, and then we instantly got Odysseus again. I was like, oh, okay, well, can't stop. This is kind of funny using Canis here. Hot Wheels is a unit that I really wish that I had. Like that's the angry guy I'm talking about, right? Like that's the good shit. And I rolled plenty on that banner. Like I'm never gonna not be salty about that. I mean, at least you know Ares got him and Arjuna's got him and stuff. So I've got options to use them when I want. But it extra sucks though because if I got Hot Wheels now, I'm so behind. Right? Like, everyone else is sitting here with their grailed, you know, 10, 10, 10 Hot Wheels, you know, the Chads, and I'll be over here with my NP1, you know, 111 Hot Wheels. You know, it's like, oh, great. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Like, I kind of need to at least get him NP2 when I get him or something. If I ever got him, that's the thing. I really do get it one day. Like, goddamn. And like, I got most of the angry crew, right? I've got a lot of angry boys, but yeah, I don't have Hot Wheels. Like, this is not right. Like, him and Hijikata are like the only two that I can think of that I don't have. I'd probably grail Hot Wheels for 90. That would probably happen. Give him 2 grails. I like giving, like, if I like a 4-star, it's nice to give them 2 grails to kind of just shore up their stats a bit. You get an MP2, grail into 90. Generally, feels pretty good for, like, gameplay stuff if you want to make a solo video or whatever. Yeah, they haven't done a free 4-star in so long. Maybe for New Year's, that could happen. That'd make people happy. I do have a lot of angry characters though. I have Atalante Altar, I've got Pinth, Canis, Beowulf, Mordred, she's pretty angry. No Hot Wheels though, that one didn't happen. Yeah, I've got quite a few, Mori, Mori, I'm not even sure if angry is the right way to put it. Like, it's more like incredibly bloodthirsty is more of the way. I don't know, he's a unique one. He's crazy, he's definitely crazy. Like Stheno. Dude, that was the easiest level 100 of my life. I remember the second he was added, I was like, I'm grailing that to 100. Like, I just put everything on hold and I just instantly started grailing him to 100. Do not regret it at all. Yeah, I just put like everything on hold and like rushed him to 100 and 2K phone and all that. And he's a 3-star, that's what I'm talking about, man. It's like, he's pretty easy to get if you had SQ saved up. And, you know, he's like that rarity that I really like. So he's not like OP or it's easy mode, but he's not like garbage like Charlotte. Sorry, Charlotte fans, but if you're trying to do like a Charlotte setup, you know, it's not exactly the smoothest experience. And then they just stopped making 3-stars. That was so random too. Like, I don't think anybody was predicting them to add a character like that and I remember I wasn't looking forward to that event at all. Then it was just like the best, and it was a fun event as well. Good times, good times. Hey, I ain't bullying. I'm just spitting facts. If it was up to me, she'd been buffed by now. Every time I see Bronze Assassin, like when they're hyping it up, I'm like, maybe that's gonna be Charlotte. Also, though, in truth, when I see Bronze Assassin, although I'm always like, be totally cool if that was Charlotte. What I actually want it to be is Sanson, and I felt that way every time. We've had Bronze Assassin for like almost every single time they've done like a you know, class reveal thing like that, and it's never been Sanson, like for quite a while. Oh, we'll get to do Luvia again on this account. That's a fun stage. Yeah, a lot of Savior of France, Curse Arm. A while ago it was Phantom, and that was deserved, and I don't think anyone was mad about Phantom getting buffed. Well, I'm sure somebody was. The only bad thing is this account is terrible for setting up solos. Because it doesn't have even Battle of Camelot and Limit Broken, and like this thing's not leveled, but I think Europa wants Atlas, so it's not that big of a deal there. Options, options. I used your mid a whole lot today and it was suffering, yep. Like, okay, here's the thing. Let's say you're fighting, and I will say this, they have not added a really tough archer boss in a long time. like from a challenge quest, or I guess there was Zenobia, but that wasn't that hard, right? Zenobia's like no Demeter or Fluffy or anything like that. So just coincidentally, we haven't had a crazy hard archer boss. But let's say they added, because it could happen any day, right? They could add a challenge quest at any point. That's a crazy hard archer, or in the main story, right? It can happen. And like Hot Wheels is a decent boss, but it's only like, it's not all archer, right? The Berserker tree is a big part of the threat, so you're not that reliant on a Lancer, right? So we don't really have like the Demeter of archers right now. But it'll probably happen someday. Anyway, but if they ever do that, right, and you're trying to not only, hey Cairo, you're not only trying to use Deer Mid, let's say you're also trying to make the team, fairly budgety, right? Like I do that a lot. And so, for example, I can make a really strong budgety team for Mori, right? Mozart, Qin Gong, these things are great. There's a lot of like budget options that can easily support Mori, and Mori's good, so it works out. But imagine trying to fight some like really nasty archer boss, and you're using Deer Mid as your main DPS, and then you're trying to support him with budget stuff. Yeah, first off, it's Deer Mid, lol, right? And then two, nice quick support. Like, what are you gonna do, right? You don't have Qin Gong for quick units, right? That doesn't exist. So yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Honestly, your best options is Hans and like Martha now, because Martha, although isn't a quick support, because she's a general support. Anytime they add a general support, that's the best budget quick support out there, because they don't have a quick support. And that's dumb, but that's just, it is what it is. But a lot of people in future aren't gonna have Martha. So that's not all, all you've got is Hans. That's it. And Hans is good, but it's not like you just slap, you don't want to use Mori and just use Qin Gong, right? You're going to want to, bring in other budget supports. Same for like art stuff, like 100 Face or whatever. You don't want just the one thing. And Hans isn't as helpful for quick as like Qin Gong can be for Buster, especially Berserkers, generally. So yeah, it really sucks for Deer Mid fans. That's where though you just like, fuck it, I'm using Scatty, I'm using Waver, you just do all that nonsense. Guess I use these now. I need to fix T in a minute. I need to battle the cough. Yeah, it's kind of weird. A lot of the big archer fights, like Moriarty, even and Moriarty's a good fight, but he's no, he's no Demeter. But that's also split where you're fighting another class, right? And that's how a lot of the big archer fights have been. And then just coincidentally, a lot of the harder archer fights that are challenge quests also are split with another class. Like when you fight Sei, it's Sei and Waver, right? And a lot of people would kill Sei first, and then so it's just Waver that you have to clean up against. So they haven't really had a fight where it's like, oh man, big threatening archer. And there's been pure archer challenge quests, but they just coincidentally happen to be on the easier side, like Zenobia. I don't think Zenobia was like a joke battle or anything, but it wasn't. She was kind of like, all right, an average main story boss fight. That's kind of what it, felt like. Like maybe Aphrodite tier, maybe not even quite that hard. Today's challenge quest was pretty decent though. It was alright. It was fun. Does anyone remember? I guess NA's about to get this. Does anyone remember the Yang challenge quest that for some reason you can't repeat? You're only allowed to do it once because that's fun. But anyone remember that one? Because holy crap, did Enkidu murder that stage? She has so much health and it doesn't matter. She's divine and threat to humanity, so very dead. Oh, good times, good times. Okay, there's 3 waves. Guess I NP right now. I need to play that event on NA though, because I forgot to get the Command Code last year, and I've got to get it. It's really important to get that one. It's so dumb. I'm pretty sure I could have gotten it too. I collected a decent amount of the shop stuff. I just forgot to spend it. And I've done that multiple times on NA, where I'm like, yeah, I'll just, I'll buy this stuff from the shop at the end. And then I just forget, I collect a bunch, and then I forget to log in NA for like a month, and then like the shop goes away, and I can't ever spend the resources that I collected. And I'm pretty sure that happened with that event. So, not my best moment there. Maybe I should have saved my debuff clear for if we actually got debuffed by this thing. If I had known this thing was coming up, I would not have used my NP last turn. It's actually a dragon though. Actually, I'm going to wait until Mordred gets an art card, which is kind of annoying because he hasn't, so I can guarantee an art thing. I should get the art cards now. Yep, there we go. You know what? I don't need the... I don't really have Buster cards, but if we happen to crit there... Why not? Hey, Stheno's in the back row. We'll see her if George dies. Look, we're fighting casters, man. This is not the time for Stheno. That's not what Hydras normally do. So that's something unique. Good thing the Mystic card has a 500% chance to apply. That did not quite do the job. Achilles got her back. Achilles is almost Bond 5, and then we'll be a bit freer on what we bring. At all this free SQ we're getting though. I'm okay with that. You know what? It's not exactly the best stage ever for him, but I think it's Tesla time. Close. I wonder if by the time we get around to doing Argartha, I wonder if she'll be like Bond 9 and we can use Argartha to go from Bond 9 to 10. Not that our Bond CE matters at all, but the coins is what we want. So, say that picture is loading really slowly for me for some reason, but I know where this is going. There it is. 9,400 attack. Feel Sanson, man. You know what doesn't feel Sanson, though, is if you 2K Photom, he actually would have 10,000 attack, where Sanson doesn't, so... That's a thing. Okay, 2 waves. They got their little damage cut passive. Do I just blast him? Yeah, let's just blast him. When in doubt, open fire. And we missed all of our buffs, that's nice. He's going to 120! Oh no! What have you done? That will be interesting though. We'll probably end up using that a lot, which I don't know if that is a good thing or not, but that'll probably show up pretty often. And Achilles is pretty bad here. Why are so many of my favorite units have bad animations? Like Darius, Sanson, Billy, Tesla, and even Ku and Proto Ku, but like Ku had an animation update, but it was one of the first animation updates, so it's not really that good. And yeah, Proto Ku looks like crap. So yeah, a lot of my favorites not looking so good. I should have done stars last turn for like a art crit there. One of my favorite units though is Gil, and Gil's looking pretty good over there. Actually, Kojiro at 120 should be, he should be roughly like either like a 94 star or like so a slightly grailed 4-star. I think that's kind of where he would be. And his toolkit is still above average, so he should be in decent shape. He might even be kind of around an 100 4-star. I'll have to look. I know Ku is like, Ku at 120 is basically a 5-star at 100 that's 1k foed. So not at 100 that's 2k foed, like that's still ahead of him. But that's roughly where Ku is at 120. Which is pretty good, stat-wise. And again, Ku also has a toolkit that kind of goes above its weight class, so. You know what? I was gonna give this to Tesla, but we'll let Spartacus go burr. Yeah, 4 and 5 stars get crazy stats at 120. Kind of interesting the way 120 works because, you know, those, it's a new system, you know, it's not the same as from, you know, anything to 100, right? 0 to 100 is just, even though the chunk of that takes grails, it's not the same as 100 to 120 because you need coins and you have to be 100 to even, you know, interact with that system. So, like, the original grail system actually favors low stars a bit, right? So if you grailed every single unit in the entire game to 100, 1 stars catch up to 5 stars more so than if the if everyone is at their default level, right? Because the 1 stars just gain way more levels than the 5 stars did. Now the 5 stars start off with way higher stats, so the 5 stars are still ahead, but they're ahead by less, right? But then 120, because everyone has to already be at 100, it's just flat pretty much for everyone when you think about it. Like, it's kind of how it is anyway, but because the 120 ones are so much rarer, you know, it's just the same stats for everybody. Even though it's the same stats for everyone anyway, but it's just 20 levels. Because basically, anyone that's interacting with the 120 system, they're already at 100, right? So everyone's been sitting there at 100 with their favorite character, and so they're all just getting those 20 levels. Where before, you know, if your favorite character was a 5-star, you only gained 10 levels from the Grail system. Where if your favorite character was a 4-star, you gained 20 levels, right? If it was your favorite character was a 3-star, they gained 30 levels, right? And so on and so forth. So it's kind of interesting how it's a little different from 120 than it was from the original system, even though they're all just linear levels. One turn and I got all those skills, but the enemies don't have any health, so it doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with like putting off 120 because it is a pain in the butt. It's a lot of coins, it's a lot of XP. Like there's a lot of issues. But if you've got that one character that's absolutely your favorite, or even like gameplay wise, so that one character you just love to death and you want to see them like with better stats. Like here's the thing, if you have a 5-star that's your favorite character, and you've already got them really, you know, beefed up, you know, probably, you know, MP2 at least, 10/10, you know, level 100, 2k foe, they're already so strong that you're probably not having any problems using them for whatever content they're designed for, right? You're probably having no issues like boss, if your like favorite character is Masashi, you know, she's destroying, you know, all kinds of bosses, no problem. So it's not like you gotta get her to 120. It's not that big of a deal. But if your favorite character is like Kojiro, right, because his stats are so much lower, it makes a lot more sense than to put up with the grind and do it. or if your favorite character is maybe just off meta, you know, and has like, or maybe they're AoE, but you want to make them work as good as possible in single target, then it makes a lot of sense to go 120. Like Mordred, let's say Mordred's your favorite character and you want to use her for single target fights, not just AoE stuff. So between her second skill and then the extra stats from 120, that'll actually work pretty well, right? So it just depends. It's kind of up to like what you want to do, what your favorites are, how much they need it, you know, how much you want to put up with the grind. Like Proto-Arthur, or what is Arthur, because there is no regular Arthur, right? It's just Arthur. Anyway, he's actually a pretty sensible one to take to 120 because he has no survivability. So having extra health is pretty nice for him because he has nothing to keep him alive longer. And he is AoE, and if you want to use him for single target, you got the crits and stuff, so that's a pretty sensible one. I think that the least sensible thing to take to 120 is like the meta supports, because it just doesn't affect their toolkits at all. And because they're 5 stars, their stats are already high enough to stay alive, right? So it just, like, nothing happens. But I know some people are gonna do it anyway, but yeah, there's not much point there. Joan of Arc, look. Joan of Arc 104 going to 106. Man, though, I'm gonna have to use this unit at some point. Because this is exactly what I'm talking about like where Joan of Arc can just get out of control. She's NP4, and what if I bet you this person's gonna get her NP5 at some point. And at NP5, you just get the, it's such a big defense buff at that point. So she's sitting here spamming her NP and just getting a defense buff like all over the place, and also invulnerability and healing. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, Joan of Arc is absolutely broken as a solo unit. Most people just do not have the patience to deal with it. That's why you don't see a lot of videos of her murdering shit. But she can solo all kinds of dumb crap that you are not supposed to be able to solo, and especially when she has a high NP rank, because that gives her soft survival, which she doesn't. That's the one issue she normally has. And yeah, he's got that CE. I actually think that is a good one, and that's one of her better ones. But I think if you're soloing, when she does get to like 120, MP5, you know, all that bullshit, I think Formal Craft is one of the better ones. Because you're going to be doing a lot of damage, and she actually has high attack stat at that point, and she might have faux pas on her art cards, right? And you get NP gain from art up. So you're still getting your NP super quick, and you're also dropping, you know, bombs. So yeah, maximum Joan of Arc is nuts. I've never seen one, because even this one doesn't have faux pas and stuff. And it's on NP5. Let's see how far along this one is, though. What do we got here? Okay, it is 2k foe, so there is a degree of commitment here. So 12k attack, and it'll get higher. It's actually almost 13k attack, and it's going to get higher. What do we got here? 10, 10, 10. So only one passive right now. So you really do want the extra attack passive if you're going to do like maximum solo nonsense, because she's going to be extra attacking over and over and over and over again. Yeah, look at that health. And again, she's only 104 right now. She's got 16 more levels to get. So she's going to have quite a bit more health than that when it's all said and done. Oh, that's going to be ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on this Joan of Arc, because I bet you at some point it's going to get absolutely ridiculous. I wonder who they're giving their faux pas to, if not her. I wonder if they're just holding on to them because they're not sure what to do with them. Because it looks like none of their units have faux pas, and no one else is even grailed to 100. So they seem to be kind of, either there's other units that just, let's see, can I look at their other slots? I don't think they have other slots set. They've only got the one slot set. So there could just be other units that they like, but they're not like good to put on their support list, and those are really beefed up. Like, I don't know, Charlotte or something, but you'll have to see. I have to log in to summon myself. I want that FP, man. I need it. Yeah, faux pas take a lot of QP, man. Look at that though. I got max faux pas in my coup, dude. I love that. It's great. Yeah, I saw you there, Otto. Lost, how much FP do you think you got total during the raid events and all that? Like that event and the whole thing? I got a lot, and I didn't even have Caster Artoria. I just had Waver and Scatty, and I was swimming in FP from that. There were several fights though where quick was quite favored actually. Like Surtur didn't have quick resistance, so I had a lot of Scatty summons there. 200k, damn. I think I got like, I was using a chunk of it as I was going, because you know, coup copies, but I think I got like maybe 110k, something like that, but not 200k, but I got a lot still. What CE should I put on Medea Lily? I feel starting charge is overkill due to her first skill. Kind of depends on like what someone's summoning her for, because there are times for a boss fight, you'd want her to get her MP naturally, like just boom, just get it. And then use the skill and get it again, right? If you got a boss, it's just like throwing, because I figure if someone summons Medea Lily, they're probably summoning it for a boss or a meme solo. So for a meme solo, starting NP, probably no. But for a meme boss, starting NP is good. So it kind of depends on what you want her to be there for. But yeah, for a meme solo, I don't even know, probably consistent damage, really. But I figure most people would summon her for a boss fight, like when they're working through the story or something. Honestly, Medea Lily is such an underrated unit in my opinion. It's like, yeah, she's not the best support ever, of course not, but she's a 4-star, and you know, the 4-stars of course aren't going to be as good as most of the 5-stars. But she's pretty solid, and there's a lot of boss fights where debuffs are just such a massive issue. And she's pretty handy there. Alright, 3 waves. I guess we just murder this thing here. Hey, Ori's Veil, Ori's Veal, I can never say that, but I'm here to establish dominance. Thank you for the 22 months. There's a few other people here though, I got you beat a bit on that one. Yeah, honestly, if I made a new account and I just like boom got Medea Lily, I would not complain because that's a way to deal with debuffs. And the only okay, now you're just showing off. He's just showing off. Jesus Christ, though. Thank you for the. Is that 20 gifted subs? What the hell? Good lord. Thank you though. I appreciate it. My God, I don't know what to say about that. I just feel bad because I said something, but I wasn't trying to bait that, but I still appreciate it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, debuffs. You know, Asclepius you can't get until Lostbelt 4 unless he gets a raid up. And some people just don't want to roll story because they're heathens. And then Martha is just totally random. Like, yeah, she's a 4-star, so not too rare, but there's so many 4-stars, you really have no idea which ones you're going to get. So if you happen to get Medea Lily, it's like, okay, here's an anti-debuff unit. If it's the only one you got, she's worth leveling. I guess Tristan's an anti-debuff unit now. You just have to invest a lot of AP into him because strengthening quests. But yeah, Tristan, Martha, Ryder, Medea Lily, Asclepius, those are kind of your best shots for most players, I think, to get anti-debuff. Man, Jesus, dude, thank you for the 20 subs, man. That is a lot. I guess Spartacus. Tristan, if anyone pulls Tristan on like a newer account, because if you're an established account, there's really no telling what you need or don't need, right? But if you're a new account and you just for whatever reason, you know, he's rated up or whatever, you get Tristan, that is one of the best units you can invest in ever now. Like, he's so good. He gives you team survival for everyone surviving an NP. He has team-wide debuff clear. He gets his NP immediately. He has loads of damage. He has sure hit. Does he have armor ignore? I can't remember. I don't think he has armor ignore, but I know he has sure hit. Let me check. But like, he just does. He has very good DPS. He has really good like support on the side, and he gets his NP immediately. Like, there's just so much value right there. Like, I cannot believe they gave that man a debuff clear. Like, for a full debuff clear for everybody. Like, what are we doing? It's not even like one debuff. It's all debuffs. Okay, let's see here. He has. Oh, he does. No, he does have armor ignore. Yeah, that's balanced. What the fuck, dude? What is Billy even for anymore? Like what the fuck are you gonna use Billy for if you have Tristan? Right? Tristan's got the battery, and he used to have the NP seal, but now you can get rid of it with the debuff clear if that's relevant. But you might not need to clear it because you might not NP that turn. So yeah, he's got a battery. He's got sure hit just like Billy, but he also has armor ignore. He also has quick up, so he does way more damage than Billy. Oh yeah, I forgot. He also removes the enemy's buffs. I forgot because he needed more, right? Like, not only does he have healing, the evade for the team, the debuff clear for the team, the damage up, the upgraded NP, the sure hit, the blah blah blah, he removes the enemy's buffs. Just click button, all their buffs are gone. Okay, yep, very balanced unit. That is definitely one of the best. He also has an animation update. Okay, that's a low blow. That's a low blow. But Tristan is easily one of the better 4-stars now. If I ever updated my 4-star tier list, which I probably won't because I fucking hate doing 4-star tier lists, but he'd be at the top now. Like, he's just way too good. Like, he is... Like, I cannot believe they buffed him like that. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, there's so much boom for your buck there. You're getting just a straightforward good boss killer, right? And then your support and all the niches and everything. Yeah, Billy needs a buff, dude. Billy needs a buff. 50% batteries used to be so rare, so it used to be a really nice thing that Billy had one. That was like his shtick. Like, seriously, when Billy was first released, there were like no 50% batteries. That was such a rare thing. You'd like waver, obviously, but that's not exactly the same thing. But yeah, it was super rare. Now they're everywhere, and all these other people that have 50% batteries get a million other effects, and then Billy doesn't have anything, so it kind of sucks. Honestly, I want Saber Wars 3 to happen because for some reason they put gunslingers in Saber Wars, so he's got a chance to, you know, get a buff and an animation update, that kind of thing. And he got good fashion, got good character, right? Good history and all that. Oh, Sanson. I don't know if I have the nerve. I should put up Chiquita instead, but I gotta get the FP, man. We gotta get the goods here. Rosh probably makes more sense. Is he Bond 5? Okay, like one more stage and he's done. Zarek, thank you for the 30 months, dude. Give his S1 a 3-turn length 20 star bomb. I don't know if I'd want to give Billy a star bomb. That's almost like too, like, generic. I kind of want them to... Like, I don't mind him having to rely on other people to make stars, right? I don't mind that, but you want it to be worth it. I always say this. I actually think it's funner when units need to rely on other units for synergy. You just need to make sure the payoff is worth it. And a lot of times it's not. And that's where I think they go wrong sometimes. Like, one thing I'd like to see Billy get is just an attack up on his second skill, right? Because if you use his second skill, you're probably going to NP right there or next turn or whatever. So maybe give like a 3-turn attack up, because that actually trickles into his kit in a lot of ways. Because if you did quick up, you know, Billy's got a Buster card and 2 art cards. And I know this because I use Billy all the time. You actually use his art cards the most because you want to focus on NP gain and bigger crits. So you don't like always see Billy's quick cards and click them. You really don't. So attack up is better because it makes his NP better. It does make his quick cards better, but it also makes his art cards better. And that's actually what's really important. You really want to do like NP stuff into like maybe Buster art if it's a solo, and in team you just take anything. So I think actually attack up would be really nice on his second skill. I would not put it on his first skill. Attack up on his first skill would suck so much. That would be terrible. Because this is what's going to happen. You're going to be like, okay, I want to NP. And I want the attack up so my NP hits harder, but because I'm NPing, I'm not setting up like a crit thing here. It's probably more likely I'm gonna set up a crit thing next turn, and now I just wasted my crit up skill, and I'm not critting here. I'm NPing here, because his crit up on his first skill only lasts 1 turn. I wouldn't do anything to his first skill, because you want to be able to just click it when you specifically want to crit, because it does so much crit up, but only lasts 1 turn. And his second skill is just so fucking vanilla, because 50% battery is not that big of a deal anymore. And that's it. That's all it does, 50% battery, right? So I would much prefer the up that. And also lore-wise, it's really easy for quick draw to like affect your, you know, your damage or something. It's like, oh yeah, you drew quick and you shoot him, right? So it makes sense. If he's getting ready to blast a bitch, it makes sense to get attack up or quick up or something like that. Or if you're to do star bomb, you could do that. Like, it's not like you have to do just attack up on his second skill. But if I was gonna buff something, it would be the second skill. Like if you're gonna do Star Bomb, do like a 10 Star Bomb, 15 Star Bomb, and an attack up, right, on the second skill for like 3 turns, or a whole bunch for 1 turn. But I prefer it. I much prefer the attack up to be 2 turns or 3 turns, because you want to do second skill, get the attack up, have the attack up apply to the NP, and then crit next turn, have the attack up apply to the crits, right? That's like the dream. Yeah, Billy's in such bad shape since they added the passive system too, because there's all these other budget units that had 20 and 30% batteries. And they can just do what he does, but do way more damage than him. So the only time Billy's really good now is if you need the NP right away, and it's like a Saber specifically, or maybe a Berserker, and then you need Sure Hit, right? Because that does happen. I mean, they've done evade spammy gimmicks quite a few times, honestly. And so like Bedivere wouldn't be as good there if that's something you're having to deal with. But overall, it's still pretty damn annoying, and I really wish they would give Billy's, and because Billy's always been worse than Robin overall, and I've tested that over the years in many challenge quests, and Robin outperforms Billy all the time, right? Unless you specifically need like really fast NP, because Robin's got Sure Hit as well, and he can cast it whenever he wants, and he's got Star Bomb and higher peak damage generally, and attack down for the team and stuff like that. So Robin is just way better, and Robin loops pretty smooth, where Billy not so much. So Billy was already behind. Like I think even before all these changes to the game and all these new units and stuff like that, Billy already could have used a buff, right? It would have been totally fine if Billy had gotten buffed. And now, though, that we do have all these new shiny units and we have the passive system and, you know, this, that, and the other, I think he really needs it now. And I swear, I'm not just saying that because I'm a big Billy fan, it's obvious. I mean, he's way behind a lot of the other units similar to him in his own class and in the other classes. Yeah, and also, yeah, no quick support does not help. I don't know why we don't have a proper quick support. I don't really get the rationale behind it at this point. Like, it's such an obvious need. And you don't have to make them like scatty. They don't have to be broken with like NP looping or anything. And now a lot of people got gifted subs there, so thanks again to Ori's Veil. Alright, we still don't have our NP on Sanson. Also, we have no niches here. Budget quick support for New Year's event. Man, maybe, who knows? Maybe they would do something crazy like that where they added like some new low stars. Because no one predicted that when they did it before, so it could happen. I'm not holding my breath or anything, but pretty much from looking at past New Year's, pretty much everything's on the table, and there's really no telling what we're gonna get. Just gonna have to wait and see. If only my Babbage's skills were ranked up, he would have killed that thing. Also, I don't think he has max foe items either, which is quite bad on Babbage. FGO is good in terms of, like, you know, old units not being crap. It's the worst, though, at everything else, in my opinion. You know, it has no safety net. There's so much wrong with the gacha system in this game. But they do a good job of, well, I don't know if I'd say a good job. It's kind of mixed, right? Because, yeah, if you don't care which budget units you use, there's a lot of, you know, old units and new low stars alike that are all good, viable, and will be very helpful for, like Asterios. Asterios was just really good for Veach, right? Now, I will say, if you just summon the goddamn Story Ibuki, you don't really need it, but, you know, it's still good, and he's been good for other fights too, and so that's nice. However, there's also a whole lot of old units in FGO that they've basically never touched or barely touched, and they're complete dog shit, and they've been dog shit for years and years and years and years, and they just keep ignoring them. And it's kind of insulting when you have a unit that's that bad for that long, and, you know, they just don't do anything, right? And it's not like it's hard to buff a unit, right? It's not like making new assets, it's just numbers. You just type in fucking numbers. You know, there's a few exceptions to that. Some buffs get like new effects and stuff, so it takes more programming. But a lot of buffs are incredibly vanilla and don't require, you know, any work on their part. Like, it's not a good system when you've got like Jekyll and Hyde being one of the most useless units that's ever existed, and he's been like that for 6 years. 6 years. When you are buffing, right? Like, if you're not buffing anybody, and then it's not surprising when you have a bad unit that stays bad for 6 years. But when you actually buff things, it's like, why is Jekyll and Hyde still that bad? Why is Geronimo still that bad? Why is, you know, Phantom of the Opera still that bad? Why is Benkei still that bad? Why is Jinkei still that bad? And some of those have been buffs, but such meaningless minor buffs that don't, you know, affect how bad they are. And you do have a lot that haven't been buffed, you know, like Jekyll and Hyde. He got his NP buffed like 5 years ago, but that was it. And he's still just atrociously bad. You got Sanson that's still terrible. Like, there's a lot of budget units that are trash. Like, honestly, there's basically no trash gold units anymore. There's definitely some that are not as useful as others, clearly. But, you know, with the buffs we've done over the years for the gold units, there are no golds that are just, like, unusable garbage, right? That doesn't exist. But there's still an army of low stars that are terrible, and I mean really terrible. Like, yeah, it's nice that, you know, Ku's amazing and David's amazing and all that kind of stuff, right? And, you know, Ushi's always good enough to kill casters for you and that kind of thing. That's great, but I don't think it really excuses how they just... It's like, either they're stupid and they don't realize how bad Jekyll and Hyde is because like they're not paying attention, or they just don't care, right? And like either way, it's pretty bad. By the way, I don't need to do Stheno's NP there, I'm just doing it because I want to see the numbers. Like, you know, yeah, old unit's good, but the overall balance is actually pretty bad, I would say, because there's just, like, why would you use any of the other low-star assassins when 100 Face exists, right? She does everything. She's got decent burst, she has amazing longevity, she's got insane utility with the massive crit down, she loops better than, like, all the other budget assassins by a lot, she has so much survivability. There's just no reason to use Genkei and those kinds of units and stuff. And it's fine for one unit to be the best overall. That's totally fine. That's going to happen in every game. Like, if Ku's going to be the best Lancer, that's fine. But you still want the other Lancers to have their niche, and like, oh, well, at least the, you know, like, if it's this or that, then they're good there. But most of, like, the other Lancers and the other Assassins are just so hopelessly behind, and they never even, you know, like, how have they not buffed Dyrmid, right? Like, after all these years, and all these other Lancers are just blowing him out of the water, it's like, can Dyrmid get anything, right? Can we just give him something, for God's sakes? Jinkei is not usable, like, not for anything, like, super hard, and there's no reason to use her. Like, Jinkei, and I know this because I've used Jinkei for every single hard fight that she's applicable for. It's like, yeah, if you know, try really hard, you can still have Jinkei on a budget team beat Ivan, for example. But Ivan's not even that hard, right? And so if you fight a boss, you know, like Demeter or, you know, Bull of Heaven, stuff like that, you're not doing it with Jinkei. That's not happening, right? You're not going to beat Bull of Heaven with on a free-to-play account that doesn't have great options, and your main DPS is Jinkei. That's not happening. That's absolutely not happening, and I know because I've tried that. You do it with 100 Face, and it's a cakewalk. It's a total cakewalk, right? And there's a lot of fights like that. Like, yeah, Jinkei is better than, like, Jekyll and Hyde, right? Definitely better than that. She's better than Geronimo. She's better than Phantom of the Opera, right? She's better than that, but she's still bad, right? Her whole thing is she has absolutely no survivability. It's actually the opposite. She hurts herself. So she's all about damage, 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 damage. But she doesn't do that much damage, right? Like, what the fuck? She's all about damage, and then meanwhile, she barely does more damage than, like, an average unit, and a lot of other units, like Ku, can oftentimes do more than her. And like 100 Face does almost the same. And actually, if the fight goes on long enough, 100 Face will do way more damage than Jinkei, because Jinkei falls off. She does like really nice damage for the one turn, and then she does nothing. Where 100 Face just kind of keeps going and going and going and going, and then 100 Face lives way longer and then does this giant crit down, right? It's not even close, right? Like, Jinkei is not good. I'm trying to think, what other old units are quite bad? Let's see. I mean, not that old. Definitely, you know, not that old. But Charlotte's pretty bad. That's another shitty one. Charlotte definitely got the short end of the stick of the new bronzes. Most of the new bronzes have some kind of use here and there, where Charlotte has none. She has zero use. The thing is, that means, what you just said means nothing. Like, Actually, FGO in no way is subjective, right? People always say that. There's nothing subjective about FGO. Now, what is difficult is the fact that FGO has so many different options. People can be different NP ranks, have different units to combo with, different friends that give them access to different support units, right? So different people are going to have different options, very much so. But FGO is objective in every way, right? And game press, that's what I'm talking about. Tier lists are not based on anything subjective, right? Now, that doesn't mean the tier list is done well, right? Of course the tier list can be done like dog shit, but things are either true or not true, right? Game Press's tier list is either good or it's bad, right? It either rings true with reality or it doesn't, right? It's not subjective, right? And like, in my opinion, like Game Press's tier list is just bad, right? They don't really know what they're talking about. I think there's a lot of evidence of this where like, Game Press is pretty casual, to be honest. They play a lot of different games. They kind of have like a surface level understanding of all of the games, but they don't really have a really deep understanding of any of them. I don't believe for a second that they get in the trenches and like actually test things. Like they don't do a challenge quest and then like do it over and over and over again with budget setups and then non-budget setups and then like middle setups and whale setups, and then they test, you know, Jin K versus 100 Face and what if you've got Castoria or you got Scat. I don't think they do that for a second. And like, there's a lot of reasons I don't think that, because most of their shit is just insane and it makes no sense. Where the people that do that, like myself and various other people, generally have a massively different opinion of units than Game Press, right? So like, people's opinions of things are subjective, right? Because humans are flawed and everything we say is going to be our opinion and whatnot. But whatever our opinion is, either rings true with reality or it's not, right? For example, if I say, Tusk stole my apple pie, that's either a true statement or a false one, right? There's no subjectivity to it. Now, you may not know if it's true or not, but, you know, that either happened or it didn't, right? Jin K is either going to overall perform better than 100 Face or she's not, because it's completely objective. You can test Jin K, you know, when she's 10-10 or at 666. You can test 100 Face at 10-10 or at 666. You can test them both on budget teams. You know, with the best budget supports out there, or you can test them with non-budget teams with, you know, Scatty and Castoria, Waver, all this crazy shit. You can mix and match, right? You can do that in farming, you can do that in challenge quests, you can do that in burst fights and in long-term fights. You know, these things, things either work or they don't. Cause I always see people saying, oh, you know, subjective and, you know, blah, 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 but it's like, it's like either Jin K can hack it or she can't, right? And I always say for me, it's something that really shows the value of a unit is as you strip away excess value, as you strip away like luxury stuff and it gets more and more bare bones, you know, how can they keep doing it? For example, basically every DPS in the game can beat like most bosses if they have a strong enough team, right? Let's like Bull of Heaven, you can use Sanson as your primary assassin if you have a strong enough team. But that doesn't mean Sanson is good, that just means everything else on the team is carrying him. Now, as you like strip that team down and make it more bare bones, and make it like more budget supports or welfares, or even go down to a solo or whatever, right? As you strip it down more and more, you kind of see what Sanson is actually offering the team. Like, okay, he can do it with Merlin and all this other nonsense, but can he do it with, you know, more, you know, supports that everybody has, like from FP Summon and stuff? Does that still work? And a lot of times, no, it doesn't. Like, for example, the Veach fight we just had. A lot of units, a lot of budget setups can't do it. It's not subjective. It doesn't matter what your RNG is, they cannot do it, right? Not possible. Where there's other setups that just can, right? And so it's completely objective, and it's very easy at that point to see like how useful a unit actually is. And so, not to sound like an elitist asshole, but in my experience with most, not all, I mean, there's some like individual tier lists out there that are fine, but with most of the tier lists out there, most of the people making it have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. They are not very hardcore about FGO. They have like a very surface level mainstream understanding of what's good and bad, and they don't question any of that, and they just, you know, like slap something on a team and like, and that's that. Like I've seen, I'm not gonna name names, but I've seen like guides out there where people just like, you know, they'll grab a new unit, slap whatever, you know, meta supports, use that unit in a free quest and try to say that unit is now either, you know, really, you know, a great budget unit or not, right? Like we've had new 3-stars come out and people do that, and it's like, that is not how you evaluate a new 3-star. at all, right? Like that doesn't tell you anything. And sure, like with the looping thing, everyone's always obsessed with looping. It's absolutely relevant to see, you know, can they loop? How easily can they loop? Can they loop with Hohenheim? Do they need Castoria? Like what's you know, that's something that can be factored in, absolutely. But I see people like, you know, looking at Baldy or something, and they use Baldy in a free quest and just slap whatever supports on him. Like, yeah, he's critting pretty high there. Good unit. That's not practical, right? That, you know, Baldy's not even a farming unit. He's for challenge quests, main story fights. When you actually go and do boss fights with him and see, you know, the issues with the RNG and how long it can take to set him up and all that, you start to see have practical problems. Like me and Cairo, we talk about this all the time, you know, every boss that comes out, it's like a meme, always like, can Baldy do this? And the thing is, normally the answer is legitimately no, right? Unless he just gets completely carried, boss fight after boss fight after boss fight, where other budget units, other 3 stars are doing great and are being very helpful and useful. Baldy at best is right? And a lot of times is terrible, right? Like with Gajuna the other day, with that fight where he removes her buffs and all that. You know, Baldy sucks there. Who the fuck's gonna use Baldy for that fight, right? It's terrible. You know, meanwhile, there's plenty of other budget units that can, you know, carry there, right? So the stuff's pretty objective. So this fight is so easy, but it was the first time we got to see Jason's retreat animation, and that was the best. I remember that. Good times. Baldy versus Veach. Oh boy, that's a bad time right there. All right, guess we'll grab Tesla's NP gain, or buff success chance buff, excuse me. Man, I remember when Baldy came out and everyone was saying he was going to be so good, and I remember people saying he was power creep for 3 stars, and I was pretty aware pretty quickly that he was not any of that stuff, and I was like, the future is not bright for this man. But everyone was on copium back then, and then he came out in NA, and I saw the cycle again. And in this time, ain't nobody done anything impressive with Baldy ever. None of the budget people even use him at all. Like, there's quite a few budget people on NA and JP out there these days. None of them ever use Baldy. And like the one time I can think of where like a good budget player used Baldy, it was on a stage where the smart thing to do was bring 6 budget Lancers. Just you brought 6 Lancers and you just threw all of them at the Archer's face, and Baldy was just a Lancer, and he didn't even do anything special in that fight. Like that's it. Like that's literally it. Jekyll account win. That's actually probably going to happen. Me and Cairo are at some point planning on making new accounts where we're only allowed to friend each other, and we're gonna level really bad units. Like you know, he'll level like I'll level Jekyll and Hyde, he'll level Phantom, you know, for Assassin, right, stuff like that. And yeah, that'll probably happen. But we'll have to hash out the details because, you know, ultimately that an account that bad will just be incapable of getting past certain fights. So like, and we have the free 5-star, right? So like, maybe we can pick something kind of off-brand, but that's still kind of good, like Tam. Like if he picks Phantom of the Opera, he can pick Tam as his free 5-star to work with that, maybe. I'm not sure. We'll have to work out the details, but we'll see. There'll definitely be nothing meta, right? There's going to be no, you know, coup, no Castoria, not even Waver, right? None of that. You know what? I'm just going to NP now. Get the defense down. That's good. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, Saber Gilius is on the list. I don't know if Baldy makes the list or not, because Baldy is... Here's the thing about Baldy. He is not terrible. He is just so far away from being like Ku or David or anything like that. So yeah, me and Kyle will have to like jump on Discord and hash it out and figure out what we want to do. Oh no, we can't use Ku with the Canis. I am not saying that part. CD, there we go. Yeah, I can't. Whatever will I do? Yeah, we gotta pick like a cutoff point. What's too good, right? Like, obviously, we start leveling the worst of the worst first, right? And as the game gets harder, maybe we go into, like, low mid-tier at best, but we'll have to see. Like, does Jinkei make the cut? Because Jinkei is obviously not great, but she is way better than some of the other dog crap out there, so yeah, we'll have to see what we want to do. Also, I think we'll have to talk to Cairo to be sure, but I think what we're going to do is, you know, if something gets buffed, if we start the account, whatever's dog shit then is what is allowed. And if it gets buffed, then we luck sack, right? So if Jekyll and Hyde gets buffed, you know, we still get to use Jekyll and Hyde, right? So we're gonna like decide the units in advance. Like we'll get a list, right? And we'll, you know, it's either green light or red light, right? And if it's green lit, it's green lit, right? And that's just that, right? So that's how we're gonna have to do it. That's gonna be fun, man. That's a good time right there. Maybe we'll have to find a time where we're in sync, and we'll have to like get Cairo on Discord, and we'll both stream it, right? And we'll go through like every unit in the game and if they're allowed or not. And we'll do, you know, 4 and 5 stars too, in case we happen to get those 4 and 5 stars. So if you pull a 5 star, it's like, is this allowed or not? But it'll only be the list of 5 stars, which there's not that many of anymore, really. But we'll look. I figured very few 5 stars would make the cut. Yeah, I don't see Jekyll and Hyde getting good in like 1 buff. You need like 2 or 3 buffs. The only way I can see him getting fixed in 1 buff is if he did more in 1 buff than they've ever done. Right? Maybe Artemis. Yeah, maybe Artemis. Yeah, Jinkei's NP is super cool. I really like her NP. And she's got a good animation update in general. If you like her, I would say to, you know, if you really like her, then I would go ahead and upgrade her. And if she's Grail, she's at least kind of average, maybe. But, you know, she's so fixable. If she happens to get a buff, you know, she's good to go. She's good to go. If she gets like 1 more buff. As long as it's a good buff. Like, her last buff was not so great. It was something, but it wasn't that great. But if she gets like 1 solid buff, like just a normie buff, she'll be totally usable at that point. Okay, what do we need Bond on? It'd be stuff that we might actually level and need to do like strengthening quests on. We might level her some... well, because we got Achilles, our need of Medusa has dropped like a rock. I was actually really close to leveling her because more riders are good and she's good for farming, but Achilles is so similar to her that that lowers our need for Medusa right now. There's Darius, but I think we've already gotten Bond on him. Yep, okay. Not too much I need to worry about then, I think. I guess 100 Face. I'm not sure any of her stuff is tied to an interlude or anything, but why not? Medusa Slander. I like Medusa just fine, and I've got her grailed on my main to 80. If I lost all my accounts and had to start over right from scratch, Medusa would get leveled just because I like Medusa. But on an account like this, where it's an ult account, I have to be kind of lean on what I decide to level. Right? I can't afford to level stuff like that when I don't need it. But Medusa's fine. I wonder if she'll ever get buffed again. Oh, the music is absolutely looping. Oh, here, we'll go with some good music here. Get that data mined music that Beastly got that doesn't even exist on a soundtrack. Honestly, for a lot of players, I think Medusa is a really good unit because you're not necessarily going to have Achilles, and she is decent in single target fights like Demeter as like a backup rider, and her Petrify is pretty useful. Gets around a lot of things that are stun immune, which I just find so funny. And then she's good for farming. She's totally fine for farming. She can get her NP very easily. It's upgraded. She has the attack up, so she hits pretty hard. So yeah, she's a lot of boom for your buck. It's just there's potential that you have other units that can do exactly what she does too, like in this account's case. I really do wish Medea had gotten buffs on that anniversary. That was really lame. Like, if you were gonna buff all those Fates of the Night people, you could have at least done that one. I've seen a lot of people that think Ku's gonna get buffed again at some point because Emiya got buffed so many times, and it could happen. My whole thing is, like, I like Ku a lot, and, you know, that's great, but they need to buff the other Lancers. Like, there's just, it's not even fun, man. I love the Lancer class. I like Ku a lot, but, like, I like a lot of other Lancers too, and I want to have reasons to use them, and I want to have pros and cons and all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, it's pretty annoying that, like, Ku is always the right budget option, and hell, for a lot of even higher rarity stuff, he ends up being the right option, so it's really obnoxious for the other Lancers. My thing is, give the other Lancers some pretty extreme, you know, positives, or like, you know, Dearman gets a 50% battery and shit like that, right? Give the other Lancers really big stuff that gives them real defined usefulness in certain situations. And yeah, they're probably still not going to be as good as Ku, but they'll at least have their own use. And then once you've done that, if you want to buff Ku again, fine, right? But get that done first. I don't know why I'm bothering to cast the stars there, but Stheno gotta go burr. Guys, what if Dearmid got buffs for New Year's? Wouldn't that be cool? Remember Phase Zero, guys? Remember that? That was a good time. I will be so mad if they give Ku like a big battery. If they gave him like 10%, then it wouldn't really affect anything. But if they gave Ku a big battery, it's like, then what do you even do for the other Lancers? And then between that, and if you get Ku's passive, now he just gets his NP immediately. Like, that's just ridiculous. That would be so ridiculous. Like, if anything, focus more on like anti-debuff stuff with him, and especially because of his lore and everything. You know, focus on like wonky utility stuff or whatever. I think that's like the better way to do it. Pretty sure this mob is dead. I bet you'll get a shot at his Kandar for New Year's, at least on GSSR, so that's something. Not exactly the best way to go about it, but... Actually, Ku getting buff removal resistance would be pretty cool, and it fits his lore fine, but it definitely should not be team-wide. It'd be pretty OP if it was just for himself anyway. But like the thing is that actually is a good buff for him, because it doesn't affect him in any way against enemies that don't do buff removal. And like 99% of stages don't have buff removal. So then Ku basically only got buffed for 1% of the content. So that's pretty minor, right? That doesn't really affect his, like, how he sizes up to Dearmid, right? So if you give Dearmid a 50% battery and you give Ku buff removal resistance, that's pretty fair, right? Because now Dearmid in general use got a huge buff, and Ku got no buff for general use, and just a utility thing. Like that's the way to do it, honestly. But they really do need to buff the hell out of the other 3-star Lancers. And if you're going to do a team-wide buff removal resistance, give that to, like, Geronimo. Like, that's the one. And Taiga's in better shape than some of the other Lancers, but she does need a little bit of... She needs to be, like, the burst Lancer, right? Like, it's okay if her long-term value falls off, but she needs to be the best burst Lancer. Right? She needs to be able to get her NP quick. Like, she needs, like, a battery with Star Bomb. That's actually right on her. I think they give battery to a lot of units that don't deserve it, but she deserves it. She needs to be able to show up, NP, hit soup. Because she's all about burst. And the long cooldowns even, like, reinforce that. So giving Taiga more burst, I think, is the way to go. Like, burst, 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 burst. You can have her fall off like a rock after the burst is gone, but you want her to have the best burst of the 3-star Lancers. She should be, like, amazing at that. She needs like an upgraded NP and like a battery and star bomb. I think that's like the way to make her really viable and unique compared to the other Lancers. I'd like to see Deermid get his second skill buffed. I say this every time, but this is what I really like to see. You can do more than this, like you can add an attack up, a quick up, you can do other stuff as well, but I want to see Deermid get the hit count increase that Musashi has on her first skill, because that fits him so much lore-wise. He's very skillful and tactical, and he's got 2 lances, right? He's got that whole shtick, right? So I think that works really well. And that also would naturally increase his star gen, which works well with his star gen up skill. The more hit count you have, the better star gen up is. And it also makes his NP gain better. And I think he needs more than that. I think he needs more than just the hit count increase. But give him like the hit count increase, maybe an attack up, something like that. That would be really good. Maybe give him like where when he attacks an enemy, he applies crit down when he does his second skill. That fits him lore-wise too. Like that'd be pretty cool, actually. That would be quite nice, because you don't have a lot of Lancers that can just throw out crit down. That's pretty unique. Yeah, Love Spot definitely needs to be changed to be more general use, or just much stronger in its niche. It is nice in its niche though. Like there are times where like if you're a Deermid on a team with other units that have survivability and you can kind of mix the cooldowns, you know, it's a nice thing to kind of buy you some time, and because it's a very noticeable attack down, it's huge. I think it's 50% off memory. Yeah, heal down's another thing you could do, but heal down is so niche that you wouldn't want that to be a major part of any buff you gave him, because like that's really niche. He needs some, you know, general boost to just be better all the time. But if you give him something where he's better all the time and there's heal down, that's fine. Imagine if they did something crazy where he had 100% heal down for like 3 turns. Like just that would be such a powerful niche. The thing is, low stars used to have that. This is something where EVGO has changed over the years, and I'm not a fan of this. This was very obvious in their game design for like the first, you know, chunk of the game, and it just kind of slowly got phased out. And I think it kind of phased out because they just got kind of uncreative as they added new units, and they wanted to add new 5 stars. They're like, oh man, look, this thing can do that thing. Oh man, right? So in the early days of EVGO, a lot of low stars would have extremely extreme effects that no 5-star would have at all, but it was only good for like that one specific thing. So like Mozart makes 50 stars, right? There was no 5-star that did anything like that, like not even close, right? They just didn't have stuff like that. But now you have a lot of 5 stars. They don't make 50 stars, but there's 5 stars that make 30 stars and stuff like that. Like there's plenty of stuff that's pretty comparable. And like, you know, Billy had the 50% battery. But now there's loads of 5 stars on 50% batteries. I don't think any of them did, like, as of America, right? Especially not for single target. And like, you know, Coup with PFA, right? They didn't have any 4 and 5 stars that had abilities like that. And eventually they added Coulter, but, you know, Coulter's was worse. You know, a lot of low stars had like those really extreme, yeah, I guess Kentucky, but welfare, so it's kind of in the same budget realm. But a lot of budget units would have really extreme niches. You know, Asterios, his has kind of remained, but a lot of other ones haven't. You know, Asterios is still pretty unique in what he can do, and it's so niche, but also so powerful. But a lot of those niches are just dead now, where low stars don't have like those crazy, wacky things anymore. And I wish they do. I like when low stars were like that, where they had, like, in their niche, they were incredibly powerful. But then for general gameplay, obviously, they weren't as strong. And that comboed them with 5 stars really well, and that was just really fun gameplay. But yeah, that's really dead now, because 5 stars just do everything ever now, so the low stars are kind of screwed over in that department. Like, thankfully, the low stars are still good enough to, you know, win a lot of content, but they're always pretty much outclassed, other than like Asterios and a few things like that. And Asterios, I'm pretty sure, was an accident, because he was day 1, and well, actually, I guess he wasn't entirely an accident, because day 1, he didn't have his NP upgrade, and he wasn't nearly as good. But then they added his NP upgrade, and I think they knew what they had unleashed there when they did that. Chin can kill everyone. Chin's also a low star though, so. But you got other things kind of in that spirit, you know, with Miss Crane and everything. That's obviously different, but you've got other units doing, you know, wonky stuff like that. Man, I can't wait to be done with Lostbelt 5 because Lostbelt 5 1 is boring. I really don't care about it. 5-2 is good though. I'm really looking forward to that. I might take a short break before 5-2 just because I want to, you know, maybe level a few units so we can stand on our own a bit better, not rely on support too much, and just have a few more toys to play with. Because I really want to, you know, enjoy 5-2 because I love 5-2. It's my favorite content in all of Go. Yeah, I guess it's coming to NA soon. It's pretty exciting. I hope people enjoy it because, man, I loved it. Kind of sad though. I liked it so much. Everything, all the main story after it has been kind of a letdown. Yeah, Leo's an accident. I definitely agree with Leo being an accident. That one, I don't think they intended, and they've had to be pretty careful about. Yeah, and Fire 2 just like right now, I'm just doing filler after filler, and I'm bored. You know, I'm bored gameplay-wise. There's no filler in 5-2. Every single stage is a bit hard. Even you don't even fight trash that much, but when you do, it's not just like 3 waves of, you know, dog crap. You know, they throw some real gimmicky stuff at you with like, oh man, it's a Hydra and a Chimera and, you know, that kind of thing. There are not one generic stage in 5-2, and I love that design, and I really wish. I was so hopeful that like, oh man. I was like, this is such a step up design-wise, and I thought that they might be like taking that kind of, you know, extra effort, you know, moving forward. But then Lostbelt 6 was just like right back to you fighting, you know, wave after wave of boring trash over and over and over and over again. And I was like, okay, well, back to this. I don't even know why. And now in hindsight, I don't know why 5-2 is done so differently than everything else, because that was the only time they ever did it. It might be because they wanted, and he said this, they wanted 5-2 to kind of be the finale of like the first arc of Lostbelt 2, if that makes any sense. And because it was supposed to be like a big thing like that, you know, they wanted it to be special and you know, harder or stand out or whatever. So that could be why. You know, it's kind of apples and oranges lore-wise, which one is more dangerous, but I would say 5-2 is more dangerous lore-wise, and I see people disagree with that, but I think Atlantis has a good story, absolutely. It's just the gameplay's bad. Well, actually, I don't think the story's good. I think the characters are good, right? And the character interactions are good, and that kind of thing. But the story is actually pretty bad because the story is just tacked on for like an excuse to how you get to Olympus, right? It's like, oh, we can't get through this shield, and none of that has anything to do with anything that actually happens in Olympus or any of the overarching story that's going on in Lostbelt, period, right? Like Wadim affects the overall story of all the Lostbelts a lot, right? And his plan affects everything a lot. And all that stuff matters a lot. Everything that happens in 5-1 has nothing to do with any of that, and it has nothing to do with anything, right? It's just like this filler plot to get around a shield to get to the actual plot, right? So the story sucks, but the characters are really good, and like there's good moments within it, right? Like the overarching story, nothing special. It's like an excuse. Like it's filler. It really is. But it's still really enjoyable because the characters are really cool, and like again there's some cool fights and, you know, good dialogue and that kind of thing. But there's a difference between story and dialogue and that kind of thing. And yeah, the boss fights are not very good. The Poseidon fight's alright at the end. That one's fine. And there's a couple other ones that are fine, but nothing special. I think 5-2 is much better in that department. But yeah, so I see people back on the other question about what's more dangerous, like lore-wise, Lostbelt 6 or Lostbelt 5. I see people like really divided on that, but I think there's a pretty obvious way that proves that 5 is way more dangerous. Look at how much more help you have in Lostbelt 5. Like, it's insane how much help you need in Lostbelt 5. right? I mean, you have Caligula, not Caligula, well, actually Caligula too, but you've got Romulus as a Grand, for God's sakes. You know, you don't have a Grand in Lostbelt 6. You have a not a divine spirit. You have a literal god. You know, Mars on your side. You know, like there's just so much stupid bullshit on your side in Lostbelt 5, and you still have a terrible time and barely win and have to, you know, plot armor and this, that, and the other, right? And like Lostbelt 6 is really dangerous too, absolutely, but it's not comparable. Like there's so much more bullshit in Lostbelt 5. And for crying out loud, when you fight Zeus, he's only at 30% power. Like, and I mean, are you kidding? Or yeah, 35% power. So yeah, and then fucking Chaos is a primordial deity and literally one-shots a regular god. Like Chaos alone would just wipe the floor with everything in Lostbelt 6. Like, not even close. Like, and again, Lostbelt 6 is also really dangerous, like lore-wise, right? It's not a joke, right? You know, Morgan's powerful, and you've got, you know, the fake bullshit and everything, right? There's plenty of nonsense in Lostbelt 6. You know, it's more dangerous than, you know, like Lostbelt 1 or 2, and probably 3. Oh, definitely more than 3. I'm not sure about 4 though. Like 4's not a joke. Like God Juna's pretty up there. Babylonia is actually nuts because Tiamat is so much stronger than people realize lore-wise. Like she's a primordial deity, and they just straight say primordial deities are stronger than all the regular deities. Like they're a cut above. So yeah, Tiamat's nuts, and her abilities are just crazy. Like, yeah, Tiamat would body Lostbelt 6, and she might body Lostbelt 5 too, honestly. Other than Chaos, like Chaos would be a problem. But yeah, I don't think Zeus got that, to be honest. Tiamat's nuts. Because Chaos is also a primordial deity, and it's hard to say because you never, and this really is in Tiamat's favor, you never see Tiamat at her best. You never do. She never gets to full power, and you never fight her head on, ever. Like, you do not fight her when she's, you know, wrecking Babylonia. You fight her in the underworld where she's super nerfed because she's not on Earth anymore, and then you're being buffed by Ereshigal and Merlin and all that, and she's also got, you know, smacked by King Hassan. Right, so you never see Tiamat even close to her strongest. It's not just Gramps, it's the underworld. Like, Gramps wouldn't have been able to do shit if you just fought Tiamat on Earth. If you stayed on Earth, nobody, I'm not exaggerating, nobody in all of Babylonia could have done a damn thing to Tiamat, and everyone would have just died immediately, right? No one had any goddamn chance against Tiamat when she was on Earth. The only reason you have a snowball chance in hell is because you go to the underworld, which is not something you can normally do, right? You can't just snap your fingers and go to the underworld, right? It doesn't really work that way. So yeah, I mean, Tiamat is nuts. I mean, she's absolutely nuts. And anything from regular history doesn't like do any fucking damage to her. And a lot of stuff, like even Zeus, even though he's from space, they got like assimilated by Earth's history, and they're like accepted as part of Earth's history and everything. So all the Olympians, noble phantasms and stuff would do way reduced damage to Tiamat and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the only thing that I think could beat Tiamat in Lostbelt 5, and I think it would, is Primordial Chaos, and that's because it's also primordial deity, just like Tiamat. But Tiamat is very tied to Earth, right? And she's so much stronger there, and also things from Earth are really weak against her, where Primordial Chaos is, unlike the Olympians, is not part of, you know, just normal human history, and he's, you know, a space crusader, and it's hard to say, because again, Tiamat never even tried, right? She was brainless in Babylonia, and then also when she was actually trying to fight, she was in the underworld. So for all we know, Tiamat, when she's actually, like, you know, trying, can fire like some crazy space laser that can like melt the universe, right? We have no idea, but we have no evidence of that. And so it's hard to, so she doesn't have anything like crazy destructive that we saw, like that Primordial Chaos did, right? Primordial Chaos one-shot Mars, and they even say if Mars didn't sacrifice himself to save us, that would have killed everybody, like, or just like that. Primordial Chaos, and he didn't even charge it up. It wasn't like Primordial Chaos was sitting there, you know, charging up his most powerful attack. He just did like some vague, you know, blink attack at us, and the only reason everyone didn't die was because Mars body blocked it for us. and it instantly vaporized Mars, and Mars is really powerful. He's no Zeus, but he's really powerful. So the fact that Chaos can just obliterate, you know, Mars like that without it really even trying, right? It wasn't like, again, he was not like powering up some super attack. That really implies that Primordial Chaos would seems to have a lot more firepower than Tiamat, but you know, it's hard to confirm because they could always bring back Tiamat, you know, years from now and be like, oh yeah, and here's her true power, and you know, she's over there shooting like, what's that anime, Gurren Lagann, you know, shit, you know, throwing galaxies at each other and whatnot, right? You never know. It's not like Tiamat's full toolkit is entirely clear, but for what is known out there, I would say Primordial Chaos is stronger than Tiamat, especially because Tiamat is so tied to like the Earth, and without it, she's not as strong. Where Chaos doesn't seem to, you know, have any kind of restriction like that. I would actually say, when I think about it, Primordial Chaos is potentially one of the strongest things we've seen in Fate or in the Natsuverse. Like, it is nuts, because Tiamat's one of the stronger things we've seen in the Natsuverse. And Chaos seems stronger, which I actually kind of think is stupid, by the way, because there are a lot of historians believe, and it's hard to know, but there really does seem to be that Primordial Chaos from Greek mythology is inspired by Tiamat, and there is a lot of evidence to support that. You know, they're both like represent the kind of unruly, raw, like forces of nature, right? That's kind of what they represent. And they mate with something else that brings about life and order. That's what both of them do, right? Because Tiamat mates with Abzu, right? And that brings about the regular gods and all this other stuff. Primordial Chaos mates with Gaia, and that brings about the Titans, and so, you know, that they're very similar, right? There's like a lot of kind of obvious similarities between the two, and obviously Tiamat's much older, so Chaos is the copycat here. And normally in Fate, they make the copycat not as powerful, you know, derivative things, but they kind of seem to have made Chaos stronger than Tiamat, and that's kind of backwards in my opinion, because you know, Tiamat is the oldest deity in human history. That is just a fact. Tiamat is the oldest human deity in human history. Now she's tied with Abzu and such, but there's no other known, you know, older creation myth or anything like that. So she deserves to be stronger than Chaos in my opinion, especially when Chaos is so derivative. But they also generally factor in like what they do in their own legends and how powerful they are in their own legends. You know, it's more than just like where they are in history and stuff. But I don't know, they're both pretty impressive. I don't know though, I guess in Greek mythology normally, different writers had different takes on Zeus and Chaos and all that. It's not like there's like set canon. But generally Chaos was implied to be pretty insane in Greek mythology, and it's also kind of implied that like Zeus is kind of like off-screen, kind of keeping the forces of Chaos at bay, you know, and keeping, you know, humans or just Earth, you know, safe that way and things like that. So I don't know, it's kind of, it could be worse, right? Like Chaos definitely deserves to be a big boy. I don't think Amaterasu even counts as a primordial. I think she's just like a powerful chief god, essentially, like roughly in that range. She is really powerful, but I don't think she's on par with like Primordial Chaos. Now that might change because she has boobs, and Time Moon has a tendency of buffing the boobs, so and she's popular. So when something's popular, you know, people, they want their waifu to be the bestest that ever was. So, you know, that could affect things. You know, where Chaos is a giant flaming Sauron, you know, eyeball thing. So who knows though? We'll see. Yeah, it's hard to judge like where Primordial Chaos is, you know, relative to like, you know, type Mars, you know, type Jupiter, right? It's not really clear. You know, types are incredibly strong, but it's hard to place them right now because there's not as many comparable things with feats of strength and whatnot. Yeah, Buddha is crazy powerful. He's definitely a top tier servant, right? But, you know, there's a difference generally between servants and, you know, primordial deities and whatnot. You know, there's a few servants that, you know, really punch above their weight class, like Gilgamesh, especially if he's being serious. But there's only like, you know, 2 or 3 fucking servants, you know, that are that ridiculous. And even those are, you know, Gil's nuts, but again, if he's being serious, Gil is absolutely nuts. But even Gil's not like primordial chaos, unless, you know, they're hiding something in Gate of Babylon we don't know about, which would not surprise me because, plot bullshit. But anyway, I'm gonna blow up a boar here. And Ozzy's really strong, but Ozzy's definitely not like Gil tier and that kind of thing. He's up there. He's really strong. He's definitely above your typical stuff. But Ozzy's pretty far behind Gil in my opinion because Ozzy has a lot less variety. He has a lot of options. He's kind of a, I would say one-trick pony, but like a two-trick pony. And he's a lot more weaknesses than Gil does. Gil has a lot more things covered. But Ozzy's still really strong and would wipe the floor with most servants, like no question. The only way Gil could do something about Primordial Chaos is if he was like in outer space. Like what they've shown with Aya, it's like you can't use Aya very practically for like if Chaos like comes to Earth, you can't just fire maximum Aya, right? You're just gonna run everything, right? It doesn't really work that way. So like, and like that's come up several times. The only reason he's willing to use Aya at like a high level in Fate Strange Fake is because Enkidu is there. And it even says in Fate Strange Fate that like the entire Earth is engulfed by like the nothingness void crap that Aya can make. And the only reason the Earth isn't getting shredded is because of Enkidu, right? You can't just like, oh no, Fluffy's here and he could potentially blow up the Earth. Let me just blow it up myself and then we're saved, guys, right? It's not practical at all. So I don't think Gil would be a particularly good option against Chaos unless you can beam Gil into outer space, and even then Chaos seems pretty ridiculous. It's like, you'll never take us alive, right? That's not the best way to go about things. But it does say, like, people like love to deny this, but it just flat out says, and this was written by Type Moon, Aya is the strongest noble phantasm humanity has ever possessed. That's just what it says, and it's not that humanity created, because humanity didn't create Aya. Because a lot of the gods' noble phantasms, humans actually possessed at one point, and like Solomon's noble phantasm was possessed by humans and stuff. And so Aya's just stronger than all that crap. Like, Aya is absolutely ridiculous, but it also is like, it says this. It is like, it's not even a matter of like attacking something, right? Like if you read Aya's character material, you don't, if you weaken Aya, right, like he does in Fate Stay Night, yeah, then you can like target an area and like just shoot a wind blast at like that building, right? You can do that. But if you want to use like big boy Aya, it doesn't target anything. It just starts making this giant ass void wind bullshit that just blows up everything. That's not useful, right? That doesn't help anything. It's like, oh no, Babylonia is going to be destroyed. Let me just use Aya and blow up the city myself, right? Like that, it's pretty shit like that. And like they've commented on this many times. Like Gil's happy in Fate Zero because he's in a reality marble, so he can use Aya and it won't fucking ruin everything. Like that's a thing in the book. And in CCC, same thing. You know, the virtual world kind of contains it, so he can kind of let loose, you know, more. And they've actually done that a lot. If you notice, in pretty much every Fate work where they want to show off Aya, they always come up with like an excuse where he's not just like blasting, you know, the normal space, right? It's normally like, oh, Enkidu's tree is there, or he's in a reality marble, or he's on the moon, or, you know, it's pretty much always that. So they never even talked about it because, like, you know, there's a lot of details about Gate and Aya that are just mysteries. We don't even know where Aya comes from. Like, we don't even know what the fuck it is. Its name's not even Aya. Gil just calls it that. Like, we have no idea what the shit is. But, you know, it's not really clear how much control Gil has over it. Like, it says, or Nasu himself said this, in Fate Stay Night, he's holding it back. So, you know, it doesn't ruin everything, and when he's fighting Artoria, right, he's kind of dicking around. But it's like, you know, that doesn't mean Gil has, like, perfect control over it, where, like, he can go either level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. It may be like he can keep it within a certain range, but then if you let go, you just let go, right? And there's no, like, middle ground, right? It's hard to say. Because they never really talk about that kind of thing, so. Yeah, honestly, I kind of agree that they shouldn't explain Aya too much. I think they may have already explained it more than they should have. because I remember when it was first, you know, out, it was so freaking mysterious in Fate Zero. I remember when, like, Fate Zero was just a book, right? It was just so crazy what you see it do there compared to what it did in Fate Stay Night, because, you know, Fate Zero was after Fate Stay Night. You know, and then in the anime and everything, it was just crazy. And it, you know, they implied a lot of stuff with it, but you didn't know where it came from, and then you hear from Shiro that's, you know, it's made from material that's, like, not from this universe and crap like that. And it's really intriguing, right? But they've you know, they explained a bit of it here and there, and yeah, I think it's probably not for the best that they did that, but you know, Gil's so popular that and Nasu's always trying to explain why he's jobbing all the time because plot armor. You know, and they've ultimately, you know, shown quite a bit of it, but there's still a lot we don't know. You know, we don't know exactly what it can do and how much Gil can hold it back, and you know, who made it, where it comes from, and why he calls it what he does, and so on and so on. We have no idea, you know, where the tattoos come from, because it seems like it's pretty heavily implied that you need the tattoos to be able to use Aya, and like, why is that the case? Honestly, Inamura Leash is, again, not actually the attack name. It doesn't have an attack name, it's just Gil calls it that. And to those myths, right? The Inamura Leash creation myth, you know, the big flood and all that, is essentially their Big Bang. That is really what it is. You know, their knowledge at the time was a lot more limited and whatnot, and that was essentially their way of explaining reality. That was like the root of reality for them. So it is kind of their Big Bang. So I guess that's why they made it that way. I don't know. It's hard to say. I would love to ask Nasu this stuff if I could. But yeah, I honestly, from all the years, all the things I've read, I have no idea how powerful Aya is anymore. It's like, I mean, I know it's insanely bullshit powerful because they have that thing where they talk about, you know, its base power being like I don't even remember, it's like 2,000, 200,000, I don't know, it's some bullshit number, and then it's multiplied by, you know, his strength and how much treasury he has. That just equals some nonsensical number that doesn't even matter, right? Fucking Excalibur is what, 250 attack power, right? You know, Bolg's like, you know, 80 or something, you know, it's like, and then Aya's over there being in like, you know, the quad digits, and then it gets multiplied into, you know, astronomical numbers. It's like, how strong is that compared to Chaos? I don't know. Like, I don't think anybody does, right? It's nonsense. The numbers are so much bigger than the other Noble Phantasms, you don't really get a frame of reference. Yeah, it's like DPZ stuff, right? So it's just nonsense. Because, you know, Chaos could be in those bullshit numbers too, or even higher, right? Musashi doesn't cut Chaos, that's, thank God, because that would be so stupid. What Musashi does is, because Chaos isn't actually there in Lostbelt 5, right? Like, Zeus was, like, holding Chaos back, right? Kind of like Greek mythology had implied. And he basically lets Chaos, you know, in, and so it's like a gateway, right? It's kind of like a rift in space. Because Chaos is actually, like, way out in deep space, probably in a different galaxy entirely, right? He's not even remotely in the vicinity of the Milky Way. There's basically like a rift in space between wherever the hell Chaos actually is in Lostbelt 5 and, or just Earth actually, because Chaos sees this rift, is like, oh hey, there's a planet I could snack on, because apparently Chaos is running around like eating planets to fuel his crusade on the stars, because, you know, that's a thing. But, that's off. What's that guy in Marvel? Is it Galactix? Galactic something? He does some shit like that? That's what that sounds like. Anyway, so what Musashi does is cut the space between wherever Chaos is and Earth. So Chaos doesn't have like a portal there anymore, or like a gateway there anymore, so he's just not able to see Earth anymore, and Chaos probably doesn't even care. Like, okay, well, I get no free snack for me. But, yeah, that's all she does. Now, they might do more than that later. You know, I swear if Musashi comes back and it's fucking Chaos Musashi, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed, you have no idea. But, as of right now, all she did was cut the space between Earth and wherever Chaos is hanging out. So he just didn't have like a means of reaching us anymore. Which is reasonable, right? Like that's something that, you know, you can buy a servant doing. Also, so she super died for it, right? Also, I just like bit into a cough drop on accident. That was that big crunch there. Did not mean to do that. Don't know what to summon here. Alright, well, time for Spartacus. They haven't really been buffing Excalibur. They really haven't been doing that. People act like they're doing that, but they're not. Like, they've buffed it in extra, but everything's buffed in extra. Like, Bulg is a goddamn skyscraper in extra, and then it makes a giant explosion for some reason. You know, it's not really the same thing. And you have, like, other swords that are, like, you know, apparently also Excalibur that they just remake. You know, like the Fays have made, where, like, just vanilla Artoria Excalibur is the same that it's always been. Well, the one that basically what Tiamat is she like Tiamat like rebirthed herself, so she could be summoned. I don't know why that works, but it does. You know, ask Nasu. Anyway, so she basically like, you know, starts over, right? She goes back to scratch, and then but she's able to like transfer her memories to her like rebirth self, so she has the memories from like Babylonia and presumably, you know, way back in the day too with, you know, Abzu and all that. So it's just some bullshit filler to explain why we can summon Tiamat when we shouldn't be able to. And then she's like growing up, right, in the Ascensions, and that's why she's an adult again in Stage 3. They've never really even said how strong Rongo Bongo is, because the Alter version gets EX, but they never buffed the normal one, so it's not really clear. Like, my guess is regular Rongo Bongo is EX, and it's just weaker in FGO, just like how all kinds of things are weaker in FGO. And like, the upgrade quest for Alter is like its true form, and they just haven't done that for regular Rongo Bongo, but it's hard to say. But they pretty much always imply that Rongo Bongo is stronger than Excalibur, and that's kind of how it's supposed to be, so fair enough. I'm guessing if Tiamat like keeps going, she'll get as strong as she used to be, I would imagine, but I don't know, they did weird stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure she still counts as a primordial deity, but she's in a servant container, so she's way weaker than normal. But still, because she's Tiamat, is way stronger than a servant is supposed to be. That kind of nonsense. And Lord Camelot blocked it, indeed, but you know. Nash's NP, if you read, like, it's how they detail it, it is plot armor personified. And they did that on purpose because they want Mash to be able to do whatever they want her to do because she's the main character. But, like, Lord Camelot is plot armor personified. It's like, the more willpower you have, the stronger the defense is. It's like, what the fuck? It's ridiculous. I mean, Tiamat was always alive after Babylonia. You can't kill deities like that. You can just destroy like their physical body. Because like Gramps did not allow Tiamat to be killed. That's not what that was. Gramps allowed that like body of Tiamat to have the concept of death, which it didn't have before. And also the thing is, even if something doesn't have a concept of death, they can still be destroyed, right? Like, types don't have a concept of death, but you can still obliterate them, right? And they're not a threat anymore. But they weren't really alive to begin with, right? They're more like forces of nature. That's why they don't have concepts of death. And it's the same thing for Tiamat. The beast, you know, form of Tiamat that got summoned did not have a concept of death, and Gramps gave it one. But that doesn't kill, like, the essence of Tiamat, right? It doesn't work that way. And thank you for the Twitch Prime. I'm chicken? Did I say that? Alright, let's try to keep Spartacus alive so I can... I guess I could have just done the one. Never mind! Stheno doesn't know how to charm. Imagine having one job and fucking it up, by the way. But yeah, like, things that don't have a concept of death, you know, Shiki can't stab, but those things can still be, like, destroyed or defeated or whatever. They're just generally things that aren't exactly alive to begin with. Chicken nugget. That's become such a thing. Like, streamer, can we get chicken nuggies? You know, like, that happens all, it's such a thing now. But why chicken nuggets, right? Out of all the foods and things out there, why is it chicken nuggets? I don't understand. Too much of a boomer, I guess. Or Stheno getting skill seals. I'll tell you what, chat from back in Lostbelt 6, they didn't get chicken nuggets. That stream way back then, yeah, those no chicken nuggets for them. Get Spartacus buffing his NP with the command code here. I will say, I almost never get McDonald's. I don't get fast food much at all anyway. But if for whatever reason I'm at McDonald's, I will probably get chicken nuggets because it's either that or a fish. Like a fish sandwich. That's like the only things I would even consider getting off the McDonald's menu. I don't even understand how they have like such famous and like they're such a successful fast food. They're not very good. Like their burgers suck. And to be fair, I haven't had one in an ungodly amount of time, so maybe they're different now. But off memory, I remember them being like these weak, like pathetic, sad burgers that are like super thin and just grease and nothing else, right? They're just garbage. I don't see how that ever got successful, but their chicken nuggets are pretty decent. I guess they are cheap, but there's other cheap places now too, right? Yeah, I think everybody prefers the breakfast. That's a pretty common sentiment that I hear. I never actually get their breakfast because I never go there for breakfast, but I don't like their fries either. I hear that so much too. Like I have friends and shit that say that. Like, yeah, McDonald's not that great, but I like their fries though. I hear that all the time. But like their fries are so like, like I don't know. I mean, I guess they're not the worst fries ever, but man, they are definitely not like the top of the list for good fries in my opinion. Like I wouldn't say their fries are bad. I guess that their fries aren't bad, but they're not anything I would go out of my way to get, and I can definitely think of other fries that I think are better. I'm on McDonald's. See, I don't. This does not make me want to get McDonald's at all. Quite the opposite. I could go for maybe chicken nuggets now, but that's about it. Alright, time for coup proto-coup stuff, because why not? We need battery, I guess. Time for Martha? Like the only battery we have right now. Why do you need this much bond, lady? She's gotten one bond, and now she needs almost 17,000 for bond 2. What the hell is that? Fucking tsundere nonsense over here. Get that out of here. Okay, well, we'll cut Babbage, because he's already got his buffs done. Ridiculous, man. I did not realize 100 Face was that ridiculous with bond. Gotta get to know all 100 of them. Yeah, it'll take a minute. I wish they used 100 Faces 100 Face is supposed to be, though, instead of just focusing on the one. That's such a waste of an awesome character. Isn't Jerkers like she needs a crap load at the beginning and then you need like none at all for the later bonds or something like that? They do that every once in a while for the Tsunderes. Fish sticks are good. I'm not gonna lie, fish sticks are good. I don't even know if there's any places you can buy fish sticks at like a fast food place, but I just buy fish sticks and stuff like that at the store and just fix them myself, and that stuff's good. And you can get like tartar sauce, man. That's good. And there's even I gotta be careful with this. You gotta be really careful with fish, but there's some hot sauces that are actually pretty good with fish. But yeah, fish sticks are great. Everybody's got PFA now. I don't really need to cast this, but I want to see the damage here. Put it in slow-mo. So we get off that buster. It's in first place, but yeah, 19k. That's not bad. I'll take that. We'd get more if we had the command code, like one of the 20% command codes that does 20% more damage. I'm trying to think if there is one that's applicable to an archer, though. Or whatever. I wonder if these are considered mecha. Because we've got undead, we've got female, male, servant. What else is there for 20%? Divine. That one works on a lot of enemies. There's the ruler, lawful good one. There's chaotic evil one. There's a lot. You can get the 20% damage command codes on most enemies, but I'm not sure there actually is one for these, just because, you know, trash mobs. Proto-coup, buddy. Yeah, I should have done his crit skill. I thought he could handle that, but no, not at all. Let's get a coup crit going here. Might be able to get a proto-coup crit as well. Here, we'll do this then. $69k, totally balanced. That's pretty minimal buffs too, because the Mystico's not leveled. And we didn't do Martha's NP or anything. When I was a kid, Taco Bell was amazing, but I'm 43 and aged like milk. I used to get Taco Bell every once in a while when I worked for that parking company, when I had like a break. There was some around, so I get them every once in a while. Not often though, and that was a while ago, so I'm not really sure how I feel about them. Really, I haven't gone to most fast food restaurants in a really long time. I've gone to like, I don't know, Hanes Chicken. They're pretty good. Like, they've got good chicken at least. Their fries are the worst thing ever though. I swear, I actually think this is what they do. I legit think their fries are like frozen fries you can buy at the store, right? And they like heat those up. I seriously think that's what they do, but their chicken is pretty good. I've never had Popeyes. People say that all the time. I know there are some where I live, but I don't really ever see them, so I'll have to check, but I do need to try them. When I was young, I liked Wendy's a lot, but ever since their original, like, founder died, they have degraded so much. Like, they actually suck. I used to really like Wendy's. That was like the one fast food place I'm like, okay, they had like great chicken and good sauce and all kinds of stuff. But over the years, I've just seen them get worse and worse and worse and worse in every field. Like their staff has gotten worse, their cleanliness has gotten worse. Like, honestly, I have a pretty low opinion of them now. I used to, and they don't even have the chicken anymore. Like, I used to like them for real, but man, and I haven't had them in a while, so maybe they turned it around, but as of the last time I had them, at least in my area, because obviously sometimes in like different cities, there's different management and like standards can be lower and higher. Like, that's a real thing, so there can be a real difference in quality. But in my area, in recent history, well, not recent, 5 years ago, 3 years ago maybe, whenever I worked for that parking company, it was like 2 years ago. they were shit, like really shit. And they kind of, and I, like I said, I slowly saw them get that way. Like, it wasn't like overnight they became bad. And I had different locations and everything, and they were pretty universally going down in quality, I would say. I just don't eat enough fast food to make a fast food tier list. Like, many fast food joints I have not been to in years and years and years, so. The reason is because I find, like, even if I want something quick, there's just so much that you could just buy and throw in your freezer that you could also get quickly that is better, or just as good, or cheaper, or you could just eat an apple, or you could just... So I just don't care, right? Like, I'm too lazy to get fast food, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just so many other ways to get food in your stomach that I find more practical. But I will check out Popeyes, because I've been told by many people that they're good, and I do like chicken, so I'll give that a badge at some point. I never liked Pizza Hut much to begin with. I never really liked the way they ran their business, and I know a lot about how they run their business because I worked in the pizza industry for a very long time, and I still have friends that work in the pizza industry. Like, they've always frozen their stuff, and that just doesn't... You can taste it, man. I can always tell when I get pizza if the dough is, like, frozen and they just reheated. And it was, like, frozen made. It wasn't like the raw dough was frozen and they made it. It was like they made it and then they froze it, right? Like that. You can really tell. Yeah, I've never really liked Pizza Hut very much. Like, I had times where, like, I'd be at, like, a friend's house and, you know, they might order pizza and they'd get Pizza Hut. And, like, you know, I'll eat a slice. You know, I'm not gonna, like, you know, hate it, but compared to almost anything else, I'm not a huge fan. I tell you who's on a huge decline though is Papa John's. They have declined massively over the last, like, I don't know, 5-10 years or whatever. Like, their standards for ingredients have gone down. The money they spend on ingredients has gone down. The actual quality of the pizza is just way worse. Now that can change from location to location for any food business, right? You know, location to location could change that kind of stuff, but. Yeah, I've heard they've also just financially gone down pretty hard too, but they kind of deserve it. I think they've run that business very poorly. So I remember when I was a teenager, like 17 or something, back then Domino's was like in the doghouse. They were like famous for being terrible, and they were awful. I mean, they just sucked. And they put a lot of effort into, like, trying to, like, revitalize themselves, and they're still not, you know, gourmet pizza or anything, but they are way better than they used to be. They definitely cleaned up their act a good bit, and from what I understand, their profits have gone up a good bit as well. Yeah, and like we're in my area, Papa John's used to be pretty great actually. You could get, especially the different locations were different, but there was a couple of locations that I knew that were like, damn, they made a damn good pizza. But yeah, that's not really a thing anymore, unfortunately. Why is Jason? Oh, you have to summon Jason. I was like, what is going on here? Well, time for Siegfried, because that's still our only saber. Hopefully this is not a catastrophe waiting to happen. Dude, I loved when I worked at a pizza place because we could make our own pizzas, and you could make them, you know, really proper. And oh man, that was nice, man. Like, that was damn nice. Like, I missed that so much. I cannot. There's nowhere that I could, like, you know, order a pizza or anything like that where I could get a pizza that I could make when I had access to all those tools and stuff. So it's unfortunate, but. Sometimes I'll make a pizza myself. I haven't done that in a while though, and my brother does that still quite a bit. But it takes a lot of time to do that, so it's kind of an endeavor. Okay, looks like we're coming up on the actual Canis fight. This one though, I think you just have to last a few turns, or she has to NP or something. Chat, I wonder what she's gonna do next. Right? It's what a complicated enemy moveset we're dealing with here. You just never know what you're gonna get. Like, is she gonna shield bash and stab you with the spear, or stab you with the spear and then shield bash? You never know. I'm gonna be right back. I need to get water. And we'll just, and I'll start fixing some tea too, I think. I need that, or I'm gonna be coughing all over the stream. Alright, I'm back. And I have tea. They've got a few cooks in FGO, like Boudica and stuff. They've got several. I mean, Emi is probably the famous one. Man, why did Boudica's animation update have to suck? Because she's never getting another one. She's never getting another one. I don't know why I'm bothering to get NP gain right now. Caligula stole all the good animations. His are pretty great. Can we make Canis a dragon? All these art chains though. Chef Wayne in Saber Wars. That's a thing. That should have been a costume. Well, Canis is indeed a dragon now. We should do that for the real fight. Which I think is this stage right here. I hope someday Lostbelt 5 gets a good anime with like a proper budget and they don't suck. Because like this bit right here would be cool with this fight scene. Alright, let's make an actual team here instead of farming Bond. So if I remember correctly, you need to NP and punch Canis to get rid of the first health bar. And then Orion just has like taunt here. I start with George? Probably. It's either that or George replaces Orion. And then you could do like... Well, we could just have Martha replace. That seems okay. Canis has Divinity, so we got our bonus damage again. Can I still bring Stheno? Probably. This seems pretty good. Don't ask. In an emergency, you never know. Can I get away with bringing this? Yeah, I think I can. I gotta level that thing the hell up. The plan is to bring it on like every damn stage in Epic of Remnant, and hopefully that gets it to 10. I'll use it when farming, obviously. I wish I had just gotten it in like Lostbelt 2 or something. That'd have been a lot better. Okay, NP gain is pretty much the only thing that matters. And of course we have very little of it on this turn. Oh man, the buff removal command code for attack buffs would be awesome here. That's where most of the damage comes from. And this account actually has one of those. You know what? It's 0 AP. Let's go grab one. Let's have some fun here. See if we can give Canis a bad time. I've been like bullying some of your favorite characters, right? I'm always so sad when I have to kill Billy. Like he was in Setsubun, Saber Wars, a couple of free quests. Always the worst. You don't want to bully the kid. Alright, what do we got? Damn it. Is he really worth using a fuck? They don't give these out anymore. Like as soon as they changed how command codes works, they're like, yeah, we're never giving keys out. Okay, well, we'll do one. I mean, he is like our main saber right now, but that's not ideal. Okay, that's one. Do I have the other one? I see I've got the defense one. Let me look. Nope, that's the only thing we have to get rid of attack buff. Well, hope we get it. Could put Stheno in the front row and she just uses her NP and remove all the buffs that way. That's a thing. Could do that instead of Martha. And that would actually be legit if we had a divine DPS, but it's actually the opposite and we're fighting a divine. But it's the Stheno account, so fuck it, we're doing it. Martha makes a terrible cleanup unit here. Pretty much everything makes a terrible cleanup unit here, because I only have the one saber. We really do need to fix that, especially because Bedivere is MP3 now. I don't want to hear it. It's only because we have like way worse options. Also, it's better on Proto-Coup than it is on Coup a lot of the time, because Proto-Coup doesn't actually have as much, nearly as much survival as regular Coup does. Not a thing. Man, we really don't get good NP gain hands for our other units. Well, George is ready. Although he was the one I was least worried about. I could go ahead and turn her into a dragon, but I don't think we need to do that. One attack buff. I'm for Orion things. Shut up, phone. I can art chain to get Siegfried to NP right now. Nah, we'll do the Buster card. You never know. Maybe we'll see something good here. You'd probably need buffs from another unit for this to actually do damage. What is that dance emote? Is that Kurt? What on earth? Boy, we didn't do a lot there. We really didn't. Also, our guts didn't go off. That's unfortunate. Well, hey, we can get rid of another attack buff. Maybe we get to 200% overcharge. We're not really helping matters for getting Orion killed because we're removing her attack buffs. That is probably the problem. This should do it. Well, Orion gets a nice send-off here. That should remove her invulnerability in her first bar. That's a pretty good emote too, right there. Chat's got some fun dance emotes. Alright. I'm to make a dragon. I guess I NP drain just so Stheno can NP and overcharge. If only we had divinity. Overcharging George because Stheno's overcharge is higher insta-death chance, which we don't really need. I love Love Dance. Love Dance so good. And I don't know what the hell that say one is. Who even made that? Like, that is so cursed. I don't even know if that counts as a dance mode. Like, I don't, like, what is that? 227. Not too bad. Actually, that's quite good because he's level 80 and he's NP1 and his third skill is not maxed, so actually that's excellent damage. Wow, Canis absolutely wrecked George there. Okay, having the drain right now would be nice. Also, having Siegfried cards right now would be nice. Slappy, I see that. Hex always has good stuff. I don't think he's here right now, but he's normally got good stuff. I kind of think we taunt Stheno. Like, you know what? This is such a stupid idea, but I could taunt Siegfried because he can have his own defense up from his third skill, although it's not max rank, so it's not as big of a defense up. And then I can have the defense up and damage cut from Qingong, and we're counterclassing. And then we get NP from being attacked. But I'm pretty sure her attack stat is through the roof because of this thing. Oh, you're right, she's got pierced defense. She cares not for the dragon stuff. There's no hope here. Well, sorry, Stheno, I'm pretty sure you gotta get the blammo. This is our last turn of anti-dragon stuff, unfortunately. I guess we're gonna YOLO a crit, but... Oh, boy. I wish we had gotten better hands in this time. No one else has a Buster card either to give us first card Buster bonus. Still 52k, I mean, that's alright. Ooh, she dead. That was not an escort mission, that was a targeted assassination right there. Okay, the damage cut still works. The pierce defense doesn't work on damage cut, but it's mainly just for the battery. Cutting this a little close now. Okay, let's put the gun down. The deck was not shuffled in ways that I care for. We haven't had any normal card damage or NP gain. He does not like Qingong. It must be the hat. Alright guys, Totoku's got the cursed craft essence. We still have guts too, so we should be fine. Probably win next turn. Ouch. I don't know if we win this turn. That's a much worse hand than I was thinking. Just crit forehead. There you go. 837 health. Now, what if Canis CD was limit broken? Because it would have applied that flat damage on 4 attacks. How much flat damage does it get? Hold on. Let's see here. Okay. It goes from 200. Oh shit! It would have been enough. That's actually it goes from 200 flat damage to 500 flat damage. So that's 300 more damage 4 times because he extra attack. So that easily would have been enough to have killed there. Yeah, it goes from 200 to 500. At least according to the wiki. Yeah, it's 3-hit vulnerability, 200 flat damage, and then MLB it's 3 invincibility, 500 flat damage. That's not too bad. Between that and Divinity, actually, it's it's a little oomph. Pretty sure though covering fire is more. Covering fire is one of the higher flat damage CEs if it's limit broken. I want to say the highest though might be that stupid Scath and Ku one, but it has to ramp up over like 10 turns. It's so dumb. Let me see how much covering fire is. Because covering fire only does flat damage. I think that's why it has like a higher amount. Okay, covering fire's base is... Oh, it does do a little bit more than that. It does 400 base, 600 limit broken, so it's only 100 more. But then it also increases your crit damage by 20%. I totally forgot about the crit damage part of that. What else has flat damage on it? Most things only have like a bit. So 600 is the highest I can think of, but there might be some, other than that Scath one. I think the Scath one, it ramps up to like 1,000 or something. And overall, though, the Canis CD is a lot better than covering fire because it's only 100 flat damage. She's having a great day, by the way, but it's only 100 flat damage difference, and then 20% crit. You know, unless you're critting all the time, is not that great compared to the 3 invincibility. K1 gives full attack. What's that one called? Let's see. Let's see. Was that the... That was the, Vivid Dance? Is that the one? Yeah, okay. That one is 800 base and 1,000. So that one, it might be the best because it has no other effect at all. It's just the flat damage. So that one's 1,000 at MLB. Oh yeah, Canis. I almost just said your name there, but Canis, that guy, that guy got the link there. But yeah, that so far is the best. That's 1,000. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, you have to expand now if you want to see the other CEs with the same effect. That's annoying. So the Scath Ku one is 1,200. So that one is the best, but it takes 12 turns to get to that point, which is stupid. So if for whatever reason you have that kind of stall or whatever, then you wanted to go max flat damage, I will say 1,200 is pretty legit at that point though, like for real, because that's more than the command code, right? That gets 1,000, and if that applies to 4 attacks, if you're doing a brave chain every turn, that could be decent actually, but the ramp up just kills it. Overall, the K one is better. They really don't do flat damage much though. The other one is the full sweet time, and that one, it's got ignore evasion, so that's already nice. And then flat damage by 600, so that's pretty solid. And then reduced damage taken by 300. That's okay. If you need sure hit, that's a decent CE, honestly. But the flat damage is not going to matter that much. Man, I actually wish I had that K one now, because if I was going to do flat damage memes, that's a pretty good one to go with, especially on a unit that has divinity. Because you could have a unit that has divinity, so there's some flat damage. That craft essence, that's flat damage. And then you do command codes, like the 1,000, which you have 2 of now. Command code does flat damage, and like dot command codes. That's quite a bit of flat damage right there. Yeah, that's true. That one golem, you did have to... Yeah, that'd be interesting if you wanted to do that. You'd need a pretty survivable unit, but that could probably be done. What is this? Oh, this is Wadim. This account ain't gonna do shit here, so we're just gonna let this end the normal way. Could summon something to just smack him in the face. There, we'll do that. Oh, hey. What? Beastly's making me look bad. Beastly has her at 90. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna grail her because I've got regular Canis, but fucking Beastly's grailing Canis to 90, and I know Zog grailed her to 100. I'm just looking bad. Bastards, man. Trying to get me to waste my grail. Maybe one of these days I'll grail her to 90, but there's quite a few 4 stars I'd like to throw 2 grails at. Things will be a lot easier once Ku's 120, because then I'll probably throw a lot of... I'll throw 2 grails at a lot of 4 stars at that point, I think. Alright, well, we just need to, I think, stall until he NPs, if I remember correctly. I think he does pretty nutty normal card damage off memory. I don't think Stheno can charm him, but we'll try just for the lulz, right? You know, maybe it works out. We can use that evade one. There we go. That's a good way to stall. We can do... Oh, we can't do that. I was going to do necromancy memes on somebody. If we have it, we should. It's not that hard to get 4-star CEs at least one time. Oh shit, do we not have it? I see so many 4-star CEs here, but I don't see necromancy. Wow. No necromancy moves for us, apparently. Not much else I have defense-wise. Oh. Lame. I guess Chin's... I mean, he's got the skill and the taunt, but... I guess that's better. Like, I have no issue with Rider Canis. It's just, she's regular Canis. Like, just straight regular Canis. So I'm like, I could just use regular Canis, right? And Lancer Canis is so good, like, gameplay-wise, I'm not like, oh man, I need another option here, right? So, I don't really see the need to Grail. It's like I don't Grail Caster Coup, right? So it's like, I got regular Coup. Although I might Grail Caster Coup someday. I see he's got defense ignore too, so damage cut's actually really good for stalling here. Oh right, I forgot about that. That is so cancer. You need like waver and stuff to really get rid of that stuff. And AoE Mystic Code is good too because you can ping off more stuff. Okay, well this is all the damage stuff is useless. We can just throw that out now. Okay, who's the most important? I don't know, George, maybe? Ash can, oh god. I wish I had remembered that. Okay, I'm gonna restart because I didn't even remember that. I want to at least bring something that just gets rid of a lot of the stacks there. I totally forgot about that. So what is there a rider that has AoE buffs for the team? That would be good. If we want to like smack him a little bit. And then, you know, live a while. Someone that... Aussie would be great. Yeah, Aussie would make a lot of sense here. Where is an Aussie? In before, no Aussies. Reggie Boy's got some. He's got the first skill. Yeah, Aussie would be really good for just eating the stuff. No Aussies today. Feels bad. Damn. Yeah, Ushi's got the attack and the... You know what? We'll just do that because she's right there. You know, she's got 2. That's not the best ever, but we'll take it. We might just cut Stheno then, although I do... Okay, we'll cut... Let's see, how are we going to do it? We could do it like that. That could be alright. Pretty sure Stheno is completely useless here. Now, I should bring, like, this, but, yeah, I don't think this stage gives you XP unless you do the command spell bullshit. Okay, do that. That's alright. Alright, there we go. Actually, we should probably switch out Mash right away then, because Mash ain't gonna do anything. Shame this isn't regular Mash, because she could do her first skill. And hell, her second skill to a targeted person. Blocking him as admin privileges. If that was true, he would have deactivated our command spells, like Burgess does. And then you could not beat this stage. It'd be impossible. The only reason you can beat this is because you can take like a week to get your command spells back once a day, and keep using them. That is so silly that that's a thing, by the way. And I don't think they thought of that, like the devs. I don't think they thought of that at all. If they had, they probably would have deactivated the command spells for this stage. Okay, what is the least important stuff? Oh, that's pretty unimportant, so that's something. The Ushis could get rid of it with just that, but it sucks to lose their stuff. The evade is probably better though. At least on the middle Ushi. The Star Gather's probably not a big deal. Yeah, we'll have her do this one because she is higher level, so hopefully that'll be enough. I guess we... Martha NP. That kind of sucks so that I don't think you can stun him. Let me check. Oh, you can. He's only mental debuff immune. That's surprisingly casual of them, right? That's kind of merciful that you actually can debuff him. It is so dumb that you can get CS back in the middle of a stage. I have no idea what you're thinking with that. And actually, if you like start a hard boss fight like Fluffy, and you're not trying to be honorable or anything, you're just wanting to win. If you know like if you're doing it like at night and the reset time is coming up, you might as well. I mean, like you might free CS, right? For at least like a free NP, and just get it back immediately. Like it's pretty OP. All right. Probably should have done the other art card, but we'll see. For the minimal buffs that we have, that's not too bad. Wow, he does that much damage at counter class. That is crazy. Oh, he has Pierce and Vulnerability. How about that? That means the damage cut though from the evade one is still worth something. That's about it. It's like that guts is the best. Like for if you're trying to just stall with the units. Guts Craft Essence is definitely the best one. That is wild though, they did that much damage. They know what they did. Oh man, even he can't guts now because it affects the back row. Oh, I can't taunt because taunt's good because he has guts, so it would go to waste. That means I should have used that earlier for just removing a stack. Full background though. Damn, I was hoping she'd at least get her MP off. That'd have been really helpful. Man, everybody's getting like they can't use their buffs. Sucks. That's why the meta though, if you're like trying to do well, is it's one DPS and everyone else is a support, and the other supports don't need to buff themselves. They just keep buffing the one unit that you already dealt with the gimmick on, and just keep getting the buffs. That's like overwhelmingly the best way to go. Not that there's any reason to actually bother doing well in this stage, but for the fun of it, if you want to do it. Well, Mash isn't actually dying because she's in the back row. She's dodging it. But this triggers the stage to just stop, right? So it doesn't matter if you still do it. I love this NP. I love the ones in the background, like the meteor strikes in the background. It's really cool. Yeah, see, it doesn't, even though Match is in the back, it doesn't even do anything. It just loads, right? Like, it doesn't even let the back row units come in. Yeah, even if you found some bizarre way to survive that NP, like, which you can't, but even if there was some weird way you could survive that NP, the stage would still end. Like, even if it killed no one, the stage would still end. Because, like, that NP just triggers it. Pretty bizarre stage, honestly. Alright, boys. I think we're gonna wrap up there. I'm pretty pooped. I could use a break. I might play some Dark Souls today. I don't really know. If I do, it'll be in like 10 minutes. I'm trying to think. Do I have enough gas in the tank to play some Dark Souls? Yeah, okay. I'll do like, I need to fight the final boss. We haven't done that at all. So I'll stream Dark Souls in just a few minutes, and we'll fight the final boss. Maybe do a little bit of PvP. But that's it for FGO for today. Thank you guys for hanging out. Let's see. Is the stream, and thank you Jingleheimer for the sub. Is the stream tonight, like really late tonight? Because I know it is the 31st in Japan right now. Is that so? Basically, are we gonna know all the information by tomorrow morning? I think we will, if I'm not crazy, because it's hard to say what I'm gonna do in FGO tomorrow because they might announce some stuff that's actually gameplay related. Who knows? It's in like 10 hours. Okay, so yeah, we'll know tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know what the hell we're doing tomorrow in FGO. We'll do something though. If nothing of note happens, we'll play more Lostbelt 5. But if there's like something else to do, we'll do that. Anyway, I'll be back in like 10 minutes for some Dark Souls. And for those that don't want to watch that, I will see you all later. And peace.